Hey everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live. How are all of you? Everybody watching all around the world. It is a good day when you guys are with us, and it's a good evening when you're with us as well. It is the end of the week, so to speak, although we're losing track of our days this year, aren't we? We don't know whether it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All the days have been blending together. We just had a live show, another matinee episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. I don't know if you caught that earlier, with R&B singing sensation and songwriter Lady Bain. It was really cool. We debuted a world premiere of her Christmas song on Rap Me, and also she and I sang Christmas carols together, which was a lot of cool. Lots of viewer interactivity. This is an entertainment lifestyle talk show series. I'm your host, Jim Masters. If you're joining us for the very first time, we welcome you. We're in week number 37 of our cool entertainment lifestyle talk show series, where we celebrate light, love, and levity, or as we call it here on the show, levity and levity blended together with love becomes levity. All the viewers call themselves the Lovities. They call me Mr. Levity. They welcome all of our guests as the Lovities as well. And it's really, really cool. The community of really cool people from around the world that we celebrate here. We do reach an international audience. Our show originates from the greater New York area, along the southern New England coast between New York and Boston, and it's a pleasure to have you here. Our times of air are usually 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, every single day. And I balance this work. This entertainment lifestyle talk show series grew out of my professional work as a television and radio personality, presenter, host, as well as a journalist, an actor, voiceover artist, narrator, stage MC, writer, producer, and love doing it. It's a lot of fun. We have guests from all walks of life, from television, film, music, Broadway, Hollywood, international guests, guests who are culinary artists, chefs, as well as from comedy, health and wellness, music, science, nature, inspiration, authors. This is a sort of like an old-fashioned show in terms of, think about Johnny Carson, Mike Douglas, Merv Griffin, maybe David Susskind, the traditional talk shows where we're bringing back the lost art of conversation, but with the modern twist, modern cool vibe and sensibilities of today. So we're blending those two worlds together, and boom, that's the Jim Masters Show Live. So it's cool to have everybody here. We've got an amazing guest, longtime friend of mine, actually. You may remember, of course, originally with Celtic Thunder, Emmett. He has carved out a wonderful niche and a brilliant career as an Irish-American baritone. Fresh back from Germany, now back home in New York for the holidays. And we're going to have a great conversation. Lots, yes, of your favorite Irish crack, which we've had with lots of the Irish folk. As you know, I'm Irish on my father's mother's side, so we've had a lot of Irish entertainers on the show as well. And from every category of life. As we always do, we toast you and you and you and you in style. This is a high-class production here, the Jim Masters Show Live. I am your host, Jim Masters. Thanks for joining us. Nice fancy glass, isn't it? All of our cast of characters are here. We've got a cast of characters. We'll show those a little bit later. Our set is adorned very tastefully and beautifully for the holidays. And would you believe, for those of you watching for the first time, this is actually out of my home studio. Usually I'm on television shoots and radio shows for a variety of different stations, shows, networks that I work with. And we've been doing a lot of the radio shows, if not all the radio shows, out of the house. Television work out of the house as well, except for a couple of on-location shoots we've done. But this show, the Jim Masters Show Live, we do out of the house here, and it's been really, really cool. And we welcome everybody. First, let's welcome some of the amazing folks we have here watching. Nan is here. Hey, Nan, good to see you. Can't wait to catch up on things with Emmett. It's been a while. Fantastic. Welcome to the show. Good to see you again, Nan. Mary Bishop from Florida. Hello, Jim, Emmett, and all the Levity friends. You're going to hear that word Levity bantered around. It's one of our key words here at the show. The show is all about levity, positivity, inspiration. All the viewers are calling themselves Lovities. They call me Mr. Levity, and they welcome our guests into Levity Hall. Good to see you, Mary. Bunny is here. Bunny, nice to see you. I love your profile photo there. Welcome everybody on our YouTube channel, and I invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're building that channel. We would love if you shared the Levity and subscribe to the channel. Will be nice to hear from Emmett again. Can't wait. Thank you for joining us, Bunny. And again, I love your profile photo. You look stunning, Bunny. Bernadette is here. She was with us on our earlier show. Now she's back. All I had was an hour between shows. We had a show from 4 to 6 live, and now it's 7 p.m. I just crammed down dinner, chicken, of course, Irish. It had to be potatoes, chicken and potatoes really quickly. And we're back here live on the air. Bernadette says, hello again, Jim and Lovelies. Glad to be back for a second show today. Good to have you with us, Bernadette. Ashley Hamilton, hi, Emmett and Jim. Merry Christmas to you both. I hope you are both keeping safe and well. Tuning in from Texas. It's so wonderful to have you with us, Ashley. Love having you here. Hope you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do these shows every single day. Keith Harkin is with us tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Keith Harkin is tomorrow. Connor McGinty is Sunday. Sir James Galway is next Friday. Phil Coulter's been on. Ryan Kelly, Neil Byrne, Chloe Agnew, Ray Nesbitt. Go back in our archives. You can see all the episodes. Nice to see you. Ashley. Sherry is here. Welcome to Lovely Hall, Emmett. We are happy that you are here. Good to see you, Sherry. Shout out to the Street Teamers. Yes, the Street Teamers. We got to get some Jim Masters Street Teamers too, right? With this show. A lot of people have been saying that. I like that idea. Hello, Jim. We are back. Hope everyone had a nice time for a little snack. We sure did. It was one of the quickest meals I ever ate. 1 hour time, not even that. Wonderful afternoon show with Lady Bain. Yes, if you didn't see the show we did earlier on Jim Masters TV on the Jim Masters Show live, check it out. It was a lot of fun. We sang Christmas carols and more. Good to see you, Ann Wozniak. And Sherry says, welcome to the Lovety Hall family, Emmett. We're so happy you're here. Good evening, Loveties and Mr. Lovety. And Mackenzie is here. Nice to see you. And she sees you, Bernadette. Welcome, Mackenzie. And Nan missed the earlier show. So yes, watch it on our YouTube channel. We sang Christmas carols. We did a world premiere of a Christmas song Lady Bain had, and so much more. Everybody's saying hello to each other. We welcome the Street Team crowd that's here as well. Kath O'Connor. Hi, Jim from the UK. Welcome, Kath. And welcome, Deborah. Hi, Jim. Anxious to see Emmett. Love his voice. Good to have you here as well, Deborah. Janet, we welcome. Sounds like a great idea. Stacy's here. So glad to hear from Emmett and what he's been up to. Merry Christmas. Of course. Yeah, we changed the shirt and everything for every show. I know I had a different shirt on this afternoon. We welcome Kath. Tons of comments here. Hi, Jim and all our lovelies, and welcome Emmett from Maryland. Nice to see you, Maryland, and Wichita, Kansas. Allison Tillman, Merry Christmas. And how are you all doing? And you, Jim, we are doing fantastically, and it's so good to see you. Alice, Bernadette, Allison, and that was Allison and Bernadette. Welcome, Emmett, to Lovely Hall. Glad you're here. Street Team Patreon members are representing on here tonight. Celtic Caper Girl once says, I'll be a Jim Master Street Teamer. Sounds good. I love that idea. Tess LaBella, Deck the Halls. Fa la 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 la. Remember Tess was on our show Monday. We sang Christmas carols with her. Loved it. And more coming in here. Let's see. Marsha Lyon. Yes. Marsha Lyon is here. She used to answer phones for Connecticut Public Television. I've known her a long time. Hello, Jim and Emmett. The last time I saw him, that's right, in New York. That's right, at his mom's restaurant. We were just talking about that, Agave. And Merry Christmas to you, Allison. And nice to see you as well, Tesla Bella. Everybody's doing well, checking in with everybody. And Ashley says, can I get a shout out, please? You got one right here on the Jim Masters Show Love. Now tell everybody about the Jim Masters Show. We would love that. Welcome, Emmett. Looking forward to the show. Cheers from Merlin in Canada. Tesla Bella, welcome, welcome, welcome. Mary is here. He's such a beautiful voice. Absolutely. And all kinds of cool stuff. Talented young man. Lots of Irish crack coming up. Merry Christmas to you as well, Ashley, and so much more. Let me tell you about our great guests. We'll take a look at more of these comments. We're a very viewer-centric, interactive entertainment lifestyle talk show series. So we will show more of your comments as we go along here for sure. But first, let me tell you about my cool friend and somebody that you know and love. 2009-2020 season, Irish-American baritone Emmett O'Hanlon made his role debut as the title role in Don Giovanni, which was really exciting, and his debut in Mercutio and Romeo de Juliet in Rhine in Germany. He also made his role and house debut as Gaston in Disney's Beauty and the Beast at the Paramount Theater. During the 2018-29 season, people saw Emmett's European role as Don Pasquale and with the Blackwater Valley Opera Festival. And if you haven't seen him perform in some of these operas, he was also with the Lyric Opera in Chicago too. His incredible background in opera is extraordinary. Opera San Jose, Des Moines Metro Opera, debuting with the New World Symphony. I mean, it's absolutely extraordinary. Opera Birmingham. He was also presented in a recital in the Brock Recital Hall at Sanford University, appeared in the recital with Sun Valley Opera in Ketchum, Idaho. Of course, he made his debut with Lyric Opera of Chicago a while back as well. It's extraordinary. The roles that he's had too are amazing. Many of you, of course, know that he was in Celtic Thunder and made many appearances with Celtic Thunder. That's where he and I met, actually, through public television. He was on all the cruises and, of course, part of Celtic Thunder's Legacy Volume 1 and 2, as well as the re-release of Heartland, the show, Take Me Home, Heritage, Voyage 1 and 2, and the Christmas Symphony Tour, the very best of tour. Honors and awards include being named a finalist in the 2017 Operalia competition, a finalist in the South Regional Finals of the Metropolitan Opera National Council auditions, and so much more. Let's bring him on. We are so excited. Did you know he also has a music degree, a master of music degree from Juilliard School of Music, and a bachelor of music degree from University of Cincinnati College Conservatory of Music. And that's just the short list, folks. Yes, just the short list. Without further ado, I want to welcome my friend live and direct from New York. Emmett O'Hanlon is here. Hey, Emmett, how are you? Happy holidays, my friend.
How's it going, Jim? Good to be here.
Absolutely awesome. The last time we saw each other was in New York. You were performing with the other Emmett Cahill, and then we had a wonderful evening at your mom's restaurant in the city, Agave, and that was really, really terrific. Good food, good time, lots of Irish crack. How have you been? How have you been getting through the craziness of this year, my friend?
Oof. Well, actually, it's funny you mentioned that show with Emmett and I, is because that was a Christmas show. So here we are, full.
You know it was, and look what we got here.
Yeah, full size.
That was then. Remember?
Young face.
And Anita Daly was there.
Yeah.
And this was after at the restaurant.
Having had absolutely no drinks.
There's a heck of a lot of Irish in this picture. Jim sandwiched between the two Emmets. That was a great night too. You guys really belted it out. And this was from that night as well. And you guys had a lot of fun. And of course, the years with Celtic Thunder. Now, this is when all of you were in the public television studio.
Yeah.
Colm and Damien and Neil, myself, my co-host Lee, you, Keith, Ryan. And that was for a national PBS special, public television special for, I think it was Legacy. I think it was really looking back, and you guys were here. But we had met before that, but our association goes back to as early as Celtic Thunder, and then beyond that. So it's really great that you can join us on the show, my friend, and spend some time, because I know you're fresh back from Germany. Tell us about that. That's really cool.
Yeah. Well, for the second time in a row, I'm fresh back from Germany. So I had gone there just after Gaston, when I was in Chicago, with the Paramount Theater playing Gaston and Beauty and the Beast. I went right from there. I had 2 hours here in New York. I remember I flew into New York. I had 2 hours to repack my bags and get on a plane to Germany. I landed in Germany, and that was the beginning of January. And we were jumped right into Romeo and Juliet, and I got to play Mercutio, which was, that's been a role that I've been dreaming of playing at a big house like that. So it was fun to have that be my first one. And then I got to do a role that I have dreamt about doing just anywhere, which is Don Giovanni, in Don Giovanni. And it was, that's an experience I'll never, ever, ever forget. It was unbelievable, because often in German houses, what they do is they do repertory shows or new productions. So repertory shows, they're putting up a show they've already done, a production they've already done. So I had 4 days of rehearsal to learn a 3.5-hour opera where I don't leave stage almost at all. So it was the most stress I've ever felt, but a lot of fun. And after the second performance of that, all of Germany shut down. So, we like, all the cast likes to joke that we did so poorly that the entire country just had to shut down. No, but so then I came back when all this unfortunately hit in March, and I was home for a few months. Then I went back in July, and then once again, I came home at the beginning of November because they had to shut down again. So
they take it pretty seriously over there, huh? You were telling me.
Yeah, they do not mess around. And it's not. It's nice. It's a good feeling to be around because you feel quite safe. Because when the government says this is what we have to do, the entire culture over there is to say, okay, for the good of everybody, let's do it.
For the good of everybody, right?
Yeah, they're very society conscious. They care very, very deeply, and to the point where they'll say something to you on the street, like even jaywalking over there, that's not allowed. Like, to the point where literally a group of people will stop and just look at you like, how could you jaywalk? I'm from New York. We
invented it.
That's the only way we cross the street is jaywalking. And it could be 11 at night, absolutely no cars on the street, you and one other person. And if you jaywalk or walk before the walk light turns green, you're getting spoken to. But it's nice. Everyone has a respect that way. It's nice. I like it.
Let's go back in time for our audience's knowledge building here. For those who might not know, how did you first get started in the arts? What was your early inspiration, my friend, in terms of wanting to perform, wanting to be a performer, an entertainer, a singer, and really thrust in? Were there early inspirations in your life, maybe with family, with teachers, you maybe performing in plays in school? Tell us about some of those early inspirations that really fired you up to say, I want to really pursue this and I want to do this full time. I mean, you got the master's in music. You've really made this a full circle situation and a full career out of it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of all of the above.
All of the above, yeah.
I've been incredibly fortunate in my life to have a family, specifically my parents, who are very, very supportive from day one. Both of them came from either were musicians when they were younger, or came from a family of musicians. I mean, the Irish, the whole country of musicians. But neither of them really got to pursue their art in a very professional way as a career. And I mean, it wasn't because I said I wanted to. My mom saw a talent in me and my older brother, who also has an insane voice, at a very young age. So immediately she put us into church choirs. So we were in the Rockville Center kids church choir, I suppose that's what it's called. And I mean, we didn't live anywhere near Rockville Center. We lived on Long Island, but not Rockville Center. But the reason she did that is because when she saw that we had a passion for performing in general, just like in the house, like in any kind of performing, she did her research and tried to find a church choir that was competitive, that would do it. And they toured all over the country. I remember I went to Canada with them. I mean, it was as professional as it can get for a volunteer choir. And from there I got very lucky, and I was introduced to a voice teacher around the age of, I think it was about 10. His name's Terrence Goff, and he is still my voice teacher today. In fact, he is also the voice teacher of another dear Emmett friend of ours, Emmett Cahill. And he kind of got me he really focused me on the classical route. I mean, I wanted to perform. I had been in plays. I loved Broadway stuff. I loved acting. I loved everything. But he teaches classically. And so that was about 10 years old, 11 years old. And it was really because my older brother was doing it and I wanted to be like him. And then I'd say it was around freshman year of high school. That's kind of when the conversation started, because you really have to start focusing on it around beginning of high school if you're going to audition for colleges. And then the decision was really, really made, I'd say junior year of high school, where it was like, I'm definitely going for it. And then it was I like to say that, and I mean, I'm sure you know this just as well. It's a mixture of talent, hard work, and just like an insane amount of luck. Just an unbelievable amount of luck.
And even beyond the luck of the Irish, I mean, the real luck.
Yeah, like true, just unexplained luck. And I got very lucky that my voice teacher Terrence had pursued a doctorate degree at CCM in Cincinnati, which was the top undergrad program in the country. And his voice teacher from that school, I had sung for her a few times, and she liked me. And then I got lucky enough to get into that school, and then that led to Juilliard, and then that led to Chicago, and actually Juilliard / being in New York led to Celtic Thunder. And I mean, it's all. I like to say the only thing I can control is how hard I work, and then everything else is just left up to chance. Like, be a nice person and work as hard as you possibly can work, and then hopefully you'll get lucky. But yeah, it was really high school and Terrence, my voice teacher. But again, I mean, it was my supportive parents, the environment I grew up in. You know, it was a lot of very inspiring people who really pushed me into it. But if I had to pick, it'd be parents and my voice teacher.
When you were in school, did you have a mission? Did you have a vision on what direction you wanted to go in? And did that vary from what the initial direction was in terms of the style of music, the genre of music, who you wanted to become within the music world? Tell us about that.
It's funny, when I was at CCM, if you were to tell me that I would have ended up performing in, and I'm just kidding before I say this and nobody get upset, but an Irish boy band, everyone freaks out. I know we're not a boy band, but if you were to tell me that I was going to be able to perform in front of thousands of people, getting to do music I grew up listening to in the house because of my family and our relatives, I would have laughed at you, because I was so just completely focused on the classical world. I thought, like, I'm never going to do any of that stuff, like, ever. Like, classical Broadway, maybe, like, if it's, you know, it works with my opera career. And then I thankfully wised up, and really what it was for me is I saw classical singers, opera singers, like the great Renee Fleming and Pavarotti when he was alive, and all these masters who all it took was them just being a good singer, and with good technique, they were able to do all of these different genres. And that's when it started to click, like, wait a minute, I don't have to choose. I don't have to just stick to opera. I don't have to just do this and say absolutely not to anything else. And then, you know, I was in my last year at Juilliard, and the opportunity arose to audition for Sharon. And I thought, absolutely, this sounds fun. If anything, I didn't think I'd get it, but it sounded fun. And then she gave me a shot, and then that's what brought us here.
So how did that happen? Were there auditions, public auditions that were?
No, it's actually a little bit of a ridiculous story. So the restaurant that we went to that night, my folks' place, I was bartending there,
which is a very good one, I must say.
Thank you very much. Agave, yeah. I joke that I was raised on Guinness and tequila, because for those of you who don't know, Agave is a tequila restaurant, is a tequila bar.
In Manhattan, New York, yeah.
Yeah, in Manhattan, yeah. And it's been there for quite a while. And now my brother I was telling you before, my brother now has a tequila gastropub on the Upper East Side called the Daisy. So if anyone's in New York, go head over to the Daisy. But I was bartending at Agave through college just to, like, pay rent and stuff. And one summer, it would have been the summer before my last year at Juilliard, some Irish kid shows up. And our manager at the time was like, oh, yeah, I know his aunt. He needs a job here for just the summer. He's going to bartend. And his name was Matt Brown, Sharon's son. And,
wow.
And like, we didn't really talk about singing, or I didn't know who his mom, I mean, I knew of Celtic Thunder and I knew the name Sharon Brown, but I thought, you know, I didn't know, like, this is Sharon Brown's son. So we just, like, would go out drinking all the time together, and we were similar ages, and we were young, and we liked drinking together. And so we bonded very quickly. And one day he goes, you know, you should audition for my mom's singing group. And I thought, like, okay, like,
who could that be?
Group, like, whoa. And we were going to the apartment he was staying in that night, and it was Sharon's place, and she wasn't in town. But I walked in and I saw all these, like, platinum records on the wall, and I was like, who's your mom? And he told me, and I was floored. And he insisted. He said, I want you to sing for her because, you know, we need somebody with your voice. It's kind of, we're at a point where we need that role filled. And I remember I've sung for a lot of intimidating people in the classical world. I've sung for people who are, you know, the heads of the Metropolitan Opera House and all of these places. Sharon Brown is the scariest audition I've ever done in my life. Because I was just in her apartment and it was just with some backing tracks to like Danny Boy and Ave Maria and stuff like that. And I remember the first time I sang through it, I was very like opera, you know, I was very, the technique was there. And she like basically let me finish the first song and turned around and was like, okay, like you're at Juilliard. I know you can sing. Like, I don't need to hear that you can sing. Just like show me that you're a performer. And so then I tried to bring it and I guess it worked.
Yeah. And what was that like? The very first experiences you had with Celtic Thunder, all of a sudden now here is this existing group, you know, the George Donaldsons and the Neils and the Ryans, and here they are already established on PBS, you know, in the United States and going strong all these years. And now you have an opportunity to dive into this, you know, nationally, if not internationally known group.
Yeah, I mean, the first experience I had with Celtic Thunder was the Christmas tour. It was the Christmas Symphony tour. And the first number of shows we had was the cruise. It was just on a cruise. So I was on a boat with 5,000 of like the most diehard Celtic Thunder fans. And that was the first experience I had. So all the guys would joke that they were like, if there was one way to get to know the fans of Celtic Thunder, it'd be just throw yourself onto the cruise and get working. And it was amazing though. I mean, it was like I think it was 4 or 5 days, and it was 4 or 5 of the best days I've ever had because we did the 2 Celtic Thunder shows. I got to do solo shows. I mean, it was, you know, it was a madhouse. It was amazing. And the first tour, including the first 2 shows on the boat, I sang my 2 like solo numbers were Ave Maria and O Holy Night. And I remember, so the first solo song that everyone heard me sing was O Holy Night, which, I mean, if anyone sings O Holy Night, you get a standing ovation. But yeah. It was kind of a big number to introduce yourself on. And I remember there was a group number right after that. And it was, you know, there's a reason why the guys don't bow after every solo number, because it's a full show and it moves through the show and then we bow at the end. So I was, you know, I knew that was the protocol. You sing, and then, you know, just in character, leave the stage. And I remember I did the first show and everybody shot to their feet and they were screaming. And I went to walk off stage, and Dave Monroe has a shout mic that he can talk to all of us. And he got on the mic and he was like, "Bow, what are you doing? Like, bow." And I was like, okay. I mean, I was very overwhelmed. I'm pretty sure I was crying. Like it was an incredibly overwhelming moment. Like the next number was it was a song with the other guys. I wasn't in the next number. It was everyone else. So I went to leave stage and they came on, and like Dave said that, and they were all like, you know, come bow. Like look at everybody. So yeah, it was just wild. I see somebody mentioned Westbury on that tour. One of the shows was in Westbury, New York, which is 15 minutes from where I grew up. So most of the audience was people I grew up with. And it was the same kind of emotional experience that night, where I got to sing this song with an orchestra in front of people that, you know, were there when it was all starting in high school, and my family. And that was definitely an emotional night. It was a crazy first few months to be introduced to everybody that way.
Yeah. And what was it like working with the guys too? I mean, you guys, I've always said it, even when I've interviewed all of you on public television, everybody, Ryan, Colin, Neil, George originally, you, of course, Emmett Cahill I've interviewed, Damien, all of Celtic Woman, I think, Frank Patterson, you name it, everybody. What was it like working together with the gang? You guys, you sort of become like brothers, and that has definitely was visible on stage. You have a lot of fun with each other, played off each other quite well. All very talented, all have your unique voice. You all brought something different to the table. You weren't all identical, which was good. What was it like working with them, playing off them, and having all that Irish crack and performing and touring?
Well, you're right. I mean, you're right. What everybody see, all the shenanigans that people see on stage.
That's a good word, shenanigans. Yeah,
it's real. It's not staged at all.
Yeah.
I mean, basically nothing is sacred. Like it's a lot of fun and a lot of joking a lot of the time. But in order to be able to do that and to put on a show of the caliber that Celtic Thunder does, there's a lot of trust involved in it. So while it's a lot of fun and joking around and everybody's kind of playing tricks on each other, it's all within a certain like realm of safety where the show itself is not really going to suffer, and you're not really going to mess with anybody when they're performing. And everybody trusts that. So even if you're the one, like I've had many a joke played on me, but if you're the one getting the joke played on, that like it's always all in good fun. It's always with love, and it's always with kind of the trust there. But I mean, it's literally just nonstop laughing all the time. And what you see on stage is what happens backstage as well.
Exactly right. And then, the schedule itself too. I remember the last time I was with the guys, they were on, it was like a 70 city tour. I mean, the schedule can be really intense. What was that like for you, Emmett?
It was intense. Yeah, it was. I think it was 77 shows was the first show tour I did, and I mean, for me at least, it's definitely an odd lifestyle. It's a bit of a nomadic way of living, living out of a bus and a suitcase. But I love that. I mean, I live for that. I absolutely love that part of my life, including with opera. I mean, I get to travel all over the world that way, but. I mean, it was great for me because I got to see parts of my country I never got to see before, and it's fantastic. You roll in, you wake up in a city, you get a good amount of time before the show to go explore, go to the gym, see the sights, whatever. Come back to the show, fall asleep, wake up in another city. So it's basic. It never gets dull. It never gets boring.
Guinness Girl asks, who put you in the dryer, Emmett? LOL.
I remember that photo. It's on my Instagram. I think that was Neil that put me in there. I mean, it started as a joke, but there was a bit of pleading to get me out of the dryer. I think that was in Pittsburgh. I think.
Was it in Pittsburgh?
I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Celtic Caper Girl 1 says 77 shows. Well, that's a lot of shows. Deborah says Emmett has a special place in our hearts through Celtic Thunder. Miss so much. And then Kim says at the show in Des Moines, even the orchestra stood. Afterwards, one of the violinists said that was the first time they ever stood for a performer during a show. Janet says, great to see a Long Island boy on Jim Masters. Guess what? You've got two Long Island boys here. Right. I'm from Long Island too, Janet, originally. So you got a lot of Irish and a lot of Long Island, New York represented here tonight.
Lucky neither of us say Long Island.
I was just about to say, you're an intuitive. I was just about to say, we don't really sound, maybe, I would think maybe only, and that's probably more of a New York thing, maybe our speech pattern is a little more energetic and faster, but we don't have that heavy sort of Long Island sound. Unless maybe there's wine involved, then we get a little comfortable and our hands probably start moving.
A lot of gestures.
Stuff like that. Maybe, not that any of that happened that night at Agave. No. That didn't happen that night. We were
completely sober.
All I remember is lots of ice and lots of great appetizers that were coming out of that kitchen. And I think they were closing too, but you had a magic touch, and with your mom, and they started cooking. That was the magic touch. They started cooking again for us. Remember? That was cool.
Nice,
I got to get back over there too. But so that's really cool. And again, and you and Emmett, like this was that night when we saw you in the city. You guys play off each other famously as well too. And you were just telling me this is where we were at your fantastic concert together, and it was around Christmas time. You play off each other very well, and you were just chatting with him this afternoon, right?
Yeah, I mean, I speak to him all the time. He, as I said, he studies with my voice teacher, and he's pretty heavily focusing on advancing the opera side of his career at this point. And so he and I talk quite often, and we talk about that Christmas show and talk about how we need to get together and make something else happen at some point.
Ashley's dying for a shout out.
Ashley, how's it going? Ashley Hamilton, how are you?
There you go, on the Jim Masters Show live for you, Ashley. Meg's from Port Washington, Long Island. Beautiful area there, absolutely. Kathleen Walker, New York City, says great photos. Sherry says, still love to watch Emmett and Celtic Lads perform. 7 Drunken Nights on the Legacy DVD. That was a good one too. That's the other thing too. Now there's those who know you from Celtic Thunder and love you from Celtic Thunder, and the other guys too, like Keith and some of the others that are doing other things as well. Damien has got a solo career too and all. But this operatic background is extraordinary. I remember it was actually that night, if I recall, after the concert, when we were at your mom's restaurant, when you were mentioning and you were all excited, you were telling me, and I think the group that was with us, that you were headed to Chicago to the Lyric Opera. It was actually that night you were telling us you were all excited that my next venture is Chicago. So it's amazing that this is sort of full circle here tonight. Tell us about that opportunity. And was it difficult to sort of just, slide away from the Celtic Thunder as the operatic side of you was really calling and speaking to your heart and soul?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, actually, that I would have only just found out about a week before that show that you're just referring to. I mean, that would have been just when I found out I was going. But what ended up happening is I was doing a solo tour, and what I was doing in Chicago it's referred to as a young artist program. It's basically an apprenticeship program where you're on a salary, you're an employee of the Opera House, and as a young artist, you get opportunities where you get to get on stage and sing some incredible roles you have no business doing at that point, but and you get to cover the leads, right. And you get opportunities to audition for everyone who comes through the Opera House. And at a place like Chicago Lyric, which is the second largest opera house in the world, it's everyone comes through the Opera House, so you really do get to sing for everyone. And so what happened was I was doing a solo tour. It was actually like a holiday solo tour at that point. And I got a call from a coach who I sang for a few times. He's kind of a career consultant. He was an agent for a long time. And then he consults opera houses with casting. His name is Matthew Epstein. And he's responsible for a lot of the most famous singers we know about. And now he helps young singers kind of etch out their career and figure out what's the next step. And I had no interest in doing a young artist program because often they're thought of, and not all of them, but they have a bit of a reputation for being kind of a lot of work for not that much payoff.
Yeah.
And I got a call from him and he said, listen, Chicago's looking for a baritone. And I told him about you. Would you be interested? And I was like, I don't know. I don't really think I want to do a young artist program. And, I'm touring. And he kind of was a little perplexed. And he's like, what? And I was like, well, and I said what I felt about young artist programs. And he goes, you heard me when I said Chicago, right? And I was like, yeah, I didn't know anything about their program specifically. But my buddy who I went to Juilliard with, his name's Taka Onishi. He was there as a baritone. He said, call Taka and just see what he says. So I called Taka and Taka said, it's the opposite. It's so many opportunities that it actually can be overwhelming. So I looked into it more. I spoke to some of the other people who had gone there in the past. And I thought, again, similar to the audition with Sharon, I thought, I'm probably not going to get this. I was kind of young for it. I knew other baritones who were going for it, and I thought some of they were older than me. A lot of them were very good. So I thought, I'm probably not getting this gig, but whatever. So they flew me to Chicago, and I remember I sang the audition, and it was five of us, five baritones. We all had to wait side of stage while each of us sang, which was the worst thing that I've ever had to do. Like,
imagine,
listening to, and they were all amazing. They were all amazing. So having to sit there and listen to these five guys thinking, okay, like where do I fit in? Like, what? This is great. This is the best version of psyching myself out. But it was great because once I walked on stage, I think I was last. Once I walked on stage, I thought, well, I'm not getting this job, so why be nervous? So I just tried to have as much fun as I possibly could, and we all were held in different dressing rooms, and they came back. And they came back to my dressing room and they said, "Hey, would you mind staying an extra day? We want you to work with the head of the musical director of the Young Artist Program and the voice teacher." And I thought, sure. I thought everyone was doing that. I thought, all five were doing that. But it turns out I was the only one they had asked to do that. And I had a coaching with the musical director, Craig Terry, and then I had a voice lesson with the voice teacher, Julia Faulkner, who both of them are amazing. And it was in my voice lesson that she was like, "I can't tell you, but like, that's all I got." She didn't want to like take away from, the official offer, but she was like, "I can't tell you for sure." But so then they actually that day, the head of IMG, the agency, was in the building talking about agent. Like they often bring people in to talk to all the young artists and give them advice. So the president, Matthew Horner of IMG, was there, and he was talking about how to get an agent, how to get a good agent. And they let me sit in on that and just listen. So I sat in, I listened, and then afterwards, the head of the whole program, Dan Novak, asked me to come into his office, and Craig Terry, the coach, was there, and Julia was there. And he said, "We'd like to formally ask you to come be in the Young Artist Program." And I was really quiet. I was just like silent. And then the first thing I said, the first thing I can make out was, "Can I call my mom, please?" Because I wanted to give her the good news because she was so excited about this. And then I had them. My mom said, "You make sure somebody takes a photo of you signing that contract." So I had to ask the head of the program. My Irish mom threatened me if I don't get this photo. And I signed. They offered me the contract right there and then. And it was one of those things where I thought, "There's no way I'm getting this." And it was an opportunity that you couldn't say no to. And yes, it was incredibly difficult to walk away from touring with Celtic Thunder, but I just felt like as soon as I was offered, when they literally said, "We'd like to offer you this," right? It was something happened where it was like, "You're moving to Chicago." So, and I knew it was only going to be about 2 or 3 years because it's 2 with an option for 3, and then I'd be back in New York and I could figure something else out. And so I thought, it's why not? Like, it's a new adventure, and never lived in Chicago, and I love Chicago. So it was an amazing experience. And it's funny. So I sat in on the thing with the talk with Matthew Horner of IMG. And then right before I moved, which was in May of the following calendar year, right before I moved, like a week before I moved, I auditioned for the first agent I ever auditioned for, Adam Cavagnaro, who at the time was one of the head agents at IMG, and he is now my agent. So again, it's like luck and serendipity and being open to moments.
So what was that first experience like for you in Chicago when you stepped out on that stage and here you are doing your thing? That must have been. I grew up in New York. I grew up going to the Met. Right. The Met is, I think it's like 4,300 seats, and Chicago is like 3,900 seats. So it's almost the same size, very, very close to the same size. And I have the recordings I grew up listening to. A lot of them are from Chicago, the Chicago Lyric Opera House.
of so-and-so singing this role in this opera or whatever. And I was standing backstage, and as other people were singing, and I'm peering around looking at the theater, and I'm thinking, there's no way I have any business being on this stage, right? Like, there's just no way. Like, yeah, I went to Juilliard, fine, whatever, but there's no way I'm good enough to stand and sing on this stage. And I remember the first aria I sang, it was an Italian aria, and I remember the first line is kind of like a short recit, which is like the speech part of opera, recit line. And I remember I sang it, and I heard it ricochet. I heard it bounce off the back wall, and I thought, "Ooh, that's what it feels like." Like that is that. It was like it hits you when it comes back. It hits, and that's where I was like, "This is the right decision."
It's even better than a home run at Citi Field, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's one of those moments, or like when a soccer player talks about like they spend their whole careers just hoping for one goal, and the moment it happens, where it's like, yeah, it's that feeling where it's like, this is what opera's supposed to feel like. This is what singing is, all those years at school. This is what it's supposed to feel like. So, yeah.
So what happened from there? Tell us what happened from there. I mean, that was really, obviously the notoriety from Celtic Thunder was there, and still, you got your Christmas slots on. Yes, hey.
This is that modern Zoom thing where you look professional. Hey. And then just nothing,
It's holiday time. It's holiday time, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. So then, yeah, it's cool. Make yourself at home. This is, me. I've chatted with you many times before, my friend. We like it warm, conversational, friendly. It's not an interview. It's just a conversation. They don't know even if I'm wearing pants right now. They don't know. I haven't stood up since I sat down. Right. Theater of the mind.
Exactly.
The only one that we can verify that has pants on is George Burns.
That's right.
And there's his pants. He's got the pants. But so obviously you had the fanfare and notoriety with, the great time with Celtic Thunder, which I know you look back on fondly. But now you have this like new chapter in your life. Tell us about some of the things that rolled out for you then as a result of taking that opportunity in Chicago and really running with it.
Yeah, I mean, what's amazing about the opportunity I had with Celtic Thunder, and specifically, and I know you know this, the Celtic Thunder fans, is that like once they're a fan, they're a fan for
they are.
They do not mess around. They are there, and it was really amazing seeing this group of fans who were used to hearing me in this one context. And although I was like the classical voice of the group, or that kind of character, it was still not opera. And it was interesting seeing this group of fans see me go from that to this thing that I was trained for, this thing that is like my passion, and seeing how willing they were to just say, sure, I'll go listen to Carmen. Like, all right. And it was actually an uplifting feeling, because, opera, like many other more classical performing arts, it's a shrinking audience, but to see this totally new audience to opera, or an audience that really doesn't have that much experience watching opera, seeing that not only are they willing to give it a chance, but when they see a good opera, they know it's good. And I always say that to, the guys I grew up with, or friends that aren't really into opera, that I say, if you just go see a good opera, you'll know what it is that is special about it. And
what is it for you? What is it about opera that really speaks to you specifically? Obviously you were introduced to it early on in your life, so you grew to really appreciate it. What is it about opera that really hits your soul, Emmett?
I mean, I know I'm biased, but I feel like opera is, in my opinion, the highest form of art. I feel like every facet of opera is at the top of whatever industry you're referring to. So the sets, like I saw the first opera I ever saw was La Bohème at the Met. They built a city for Act Two. They literally built a town, not a city. They built a small French town. And I mean, they literally built a small French town with a cafe, or functioning cafe. Like, the set design, unbelievable. The costumes, I mean, like not just not just period costumes, but like authentic, original period costumes, like the singing, cultivated singing that is centuries old.
Right.
It's everything. The orchestras, some of the best orchestras in the world play at opera houses. And for me, it's all of those things working together to create an unbelievable experience. And of course, I love ballet. I love Broadway. I'm happy that I'm actually getting to delve more into Broadway recently and going forward. But for me,
that's cool, isn't it? The Broadway.
Yeah. I mean, and that's kind of one of the things after Chicago. So while going through Chicago, I was lucky enough to have this group of fans that was so committed that with the months I had off, I was able to still do solo tours and see the fans and interact with them and do stage at shows and I was really able to balance both and kind of be able to swim in both ponds. And once I left Chicago, thankfully I had an unbelievable agent who actually now, just a shout out to Adam, who has his own agency, Promethean Artist, unbelievable. He's my man. But he basically, when I left Chicago, I've had essentially consistent work for the most part, which is amazing for a young opera singer. And it's only because he's very good at his job. And he thinks out of the box. So he loved that I did this other thing that, his other singers don't do, or most opera singers don't do. He loved that there was this fan base and that I was able to do these solo tours and that we were able to kind of move that into some concert work and recital work. And it's great because I'm able to do these recitals and they think, my fans will show up and then the company, whoever it is putting it on, their traditional fans will show up. So half the room is expecting a classical recital and half the room is expecting me. So I end up being able to do a recital that's literally both. The first time I did it was actually in Birmingham, Alabama. And I did, the first half was very formal, full on opera recital where you come out, you bow, you do a set of songs, you leave, you come out, you bow, you do a set of songs. And then intermission happened and I came out and I pulled a mic out. And I cracked a joke where I was like, I know most of you in this audience are a little afraid because the opera singer just took a mic out of his pocket. But then I was able to talk about myself, and I found that breaking down that wall of that formalized structure made it so that the audience by the end of it felt extremely connected to me, and I felt more connected to them. There wasn't this curtain of formality between us anymore. And I went out into the lobby to talk to people after the show, and all these people who are regulars for these recitals said, "This is the best recital I've ever seen." And I'm not saying, I'm not bragging. It's just the structure of the recital where it's both classical and contemporary. And by contemporary, I mean I did my favorite Rat Pack songs I grew up listening to. I did like Frank Sinatra and the like. And I was able to crack jokes about it and make it fun. And all these people who are kind of the typical opera audience, these people who have been going to operas for a long time and are the demographic that go to opera, all the ones I spoke to said, this is what we want. We want more of this. So since then, I've been able to kind of recreate that. And that all kind of came out. That was all inspired by my agent, Adam. He said, this is where it's going. This is what recitals are going to be. You have to be able to be versatile in this industry. And so again, I got very lucky with not only an agent who's, in the top of his industry, but somebody who inspires me to keep pushing the envelope on where you can take these recitals and how creative can you get with mashing things together. And
That's really cool. That's really cool. And you just fell in love with it and have been just knocking out of the park. We have a fantastic video clip here that our crack research department was able to grab, and it's you performing. Tell us about this clip that you guys sent along that we're going to watch right now.
So this was actually, I sang a competition in Dublin, Ireland, and this is the finals, and I got to sing one of my favorite arias. Again, another dream role that I actually got to cover. I was the understudy for this role when I was in Chicago. It's the role is Valentin, in Faust, and this aria is called Avon De Guite, and what it is he's a soldier who's been told he has to go to war, go to battle, and he is the only thing that his sister has. He's the only person watching out for his sister, so he is kind of a soldier. So this is his plea to God to say, I will go, I will fight on your behalf, I will do my duty, but you have to watch my sister while I'm gone. So it's a pretty emotional aria. I love it. And also getting to sing it in front of an Irish audience was incredible.
What did that feel like?
Oh, it was amazing. And like, some of my family was in the audience that hadn't gotten to hear me sing in a long time. And yeah, it was an incredible experience.
Some wonderful experiences that you've had thus far, my friend, and they continue. And then that Broadway, we'll have to talk a little bit more about that. That's very cool, and something that some of the viewers might not be aware of. So we'll talk about that. Take a listen to this, folks. If you've heard him just with Celtic Thunder, wait till you hear this. Some of the windows in your house might crack. So hide the glassware, hide the children. He's going to knock it out of the park. Our friend Emmett O'Hanlon. Here we go. Enjoy, folks. And we'll be back with lots more Irish crack on the Jim Master Show Live.
J'irai chercher le doigt rosser les ennemis, le premier, les plus braves, forts de la vie. J'irai combattre pour mon pays. Et si vers lui Dieu me rappelle, je veillerai sur toi fidèle.
Holy cow. Are you seeing Mom saying, I love seeing you on the Jim Masters show?
She's like, this is good job, son.
Yeah, that's right. Tell her, give her my love. I've seen her since we were at that restaurant. Let's see her again. That might be the first time some people are hearing you do that who are familiar with you doing other things. However, I just want to show you some of the comments coming in. Again, this entertainment lifestyle talk show series that we have, the Jim Master Show Live, is very viewer centric. I love, how in my work in television and radio, I'm all about, interactivity and bringing people in. And I can't stop smiling at this. Wowza, definitely got to put Emmett opera in my bucket list from Guinness Girl. All right. Won her over. Denise
Perfect.
Ola. Love that name, Denise Ola. Absolutely unbelievable. Marilyn Hammond in Wichita, Kansas. Really awesome. And let's see. More coming in here. Mary says, awesome. Encore. Yeah, he's gonna sing Jingle Bells next. A cappella. This is your calling. That's from Barbara Quinn. And wow, amazing voice, Emmett, from Mary Bishop in Florida. Merlin in Canada says, bravo, love it. And bravo again from Barbara Quinn. Juanita, one of our regular Lovely viewers watching in South Africa, says, amazing voice, wowee. And she's up late. It's pretty late in South Africa right now. What is it, 2-3 a.m., I think. What an incredible voice from Janet. Meg Hartnett says, spectacular, Emmett. Bravo. Barbara Quinn. Claps, claps, claps. All watching on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Hope you guys will subscribe to our channel. We would love that, lovely. Speaking of that, lovely, lovely voice and good French art song as well.
Thank you.
That's Christopher Joseph in Ohio. Bernadette says, bravo. Excellent as always. Tesla Bella, who's a wonderful actress, comedian, and voice artist, says, and she's in Florida, how beautiful, magnificent voice. I have goosebumps.
Thank you.
Brilliant voice. Our guest who is with us, the R&B singer, songwriter sensation, Lady Bain, is here watching as well. She's a real lovely guest and viewer. She says, what an amazing voice. So from one singer to another, an amazing
I appreciate that.
voice. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
And Allison says, you both make me laugh. I cannot stop laughing. Well, that's the Irish. You put the Irish in the room, that's going to happen. That is an automatic joke telling. Nan says, very chilling. And Allison says she met you with Keith Harkin, probably during one of the Celtic Thunder meet and greet type things. I don't doubt. Bravo from Janet. Marsha Lyon, who was with me that night. She's my friend from Connecticut that I brought that night to the city. Marsha, she's here watching. She's now, she's retiring. Congratulations, Marsha. And she moved to Massachusetts. She's in Massachusetts. Now you have such a rich, full, beautiful voice.
Thank you.
Yeah. And she used to answer phones a lot too for on Connecticut Public Television for a lot of the pledges coming in. Goosebumps from Merlin, which is really great. And from a full orchestra to a pajama party. That's what we're having. This is the pajama party.
That's right.
Get your drinks, mix your libations, and join us.
Right.
It feels like a Saturday night in a way. LOL Shay, right? Exactly. And Emmett Hanlon, love you always. Bravo from Sherry. Show in line, great voice from Allison. Tell us also about you were telling us a little bit about this the Broadway part of things too. Tell us about that. It's cool.
Well, so I from it's funny. It's always kind of through relationships. You know, it's
everything in life.
Yeah, it really is. It's about getting to know people, and, you know, networking is kind of a cold term, but like, it's about building relationships with people and
being good to people.
Yeah, being good to people and making sure those people know that you're good to work with. You're a nice person. You know, you make sure you do your job and stuff.
Go the extra mile.
Yeah, go the extra mile. And from one of my experiences in Chicago, I had done. I was in Carmen. I was one of the smaller baritone roles in Carmen, and one of the dancers from that was hired as the choreographer for Beauty and the Beast at the Paramount Theater, and I was in the Berkshires doing Don Pasquale, and I got a text from him, or like a DM, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to play Gaston?" I was like, "Yes." Like, of course. Yeah, that's a baritone. That's that's one of the roles, you know. Yeah. And I said, "Oh, huh." So he called me and he explained. He said, "You know, we had a guy. He's dropped out. We're looking for somebody." And I immediately thought of you. I think you actually do really, really well with it. And I had not done a Broadway show, like a Broadway style show, since high school.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you remember which one it was back then?
The last one I did was senior year, which would have been, we did Anything Goes. And I was Billy. I was the lead guy role in that.
Look where Mackenzie says. Pretty cool. They're all voting for you already.
Perfect.
Well, way there.
I hope so. That's kind of part of the plan. Well, part of the hopeful plan at this point is this, since it's the Paramount Theater in Chicago, which is actually a very prestigious union theater. I mean, it's a full, it's
a real deal.
Yeah, it's a real deal. It's an equity theater. They had me put myself on tape. So I immediately called like 3 of my Broadway friends who are on Broadway. And I was like, "Tell me how to do this. Like, this needs to look professional because I really want this gig." So they sent me like 3 or 4 of like the go-to videos. They're like, "These guys know how to do it. Just follow their lead." And there's these YouTube videos about get this kind of sheet, do this color of sheet because this is why, and then this type of camera angle, try and get this kind of lighting because that kind of lighting's bad. And I remember that whole thing because they needed it right away. They literally they sent me the sides, and they sent me like the clip, the music the backing track to sing because it's just a snippet of his song, because they don't do like in opera. When I do auditions, I bring 5 or 6 arias and then I sing one and they pick one. In Broadway, it's like 16 bars or I think 32 bars, I believe. And that's it. It's like sing, we'll decide from that. And so I was very out of my element, but I remember I was running around to like dollar stores and I was getting sheets and little like LED lights that I was going to put around my camera and stuff. and they sent the sides. They needed it like the next day. And it just so happened that by doing Don Pasquale, which is it's a comedy, my buddy Craig, who was playing Don Pasquale, and my other friend Deanna, who was singing Norina, they're kind of the perfect reading partners because Craig, the guy playing Don Pasquale, is just in life one of the funniest guys I've ever met. And he could do, and he's a dad, so he could tap into like the perfect voice for LeFou. The perfect LeFou voice. And Deanna, like we were joking that like she's kind of like sounds like a Disney princess anyway. Like she just has like one of those perfect speaking voices. So both of them agreed to read for me. So, and then I had the rehearsal pianist bring a keyboard to my Airbnb, and we had the whole thing set up all in the bedroom of this tiny studio Airbnb I was staying at. And I had a table and a chair and a camera on top of to look like a tripod because I didn't have anything on me. And I remember I was so nervous I kept messing the words up. So I put the words on my iPad and I had them hold the iPad right next to the camera so that when I needed to look at the lines, I was doing this so I could still like pretend like I was, just acting. Meanwhile, I was just reading the lines. So I sent the audition tape in, and I got a call. I got a text from my buddy Todd, who was the choreographer, and they're like, they really like you. And I was, again, it's another one of these situations where I thought, there's no way I'm getting this, because it's an equity house, like an equity theater. So, and I was not equity at the time. And I was an opera singer, like the Chicago Broadway scene is not to be messed with. Like, they are serious professionals. And I had never, I'd never done a professional Broadway musical before. And so then I guess my agent got a call, and they said, we really like Emmett. We want him to do Gaston. So I remember that was like about a month before the end of this run of Don Pasquale. And then I would have 2 weeks and go off to Chicago. So again, it's like in my life, the amount of luck I've had, like, again, I think like what we were saying, it's about being open to opportunities, open to experiences, saying yes when you're afraid, but being nice to people and working well and going the extra mile and putting out positive energy. There's been all of these moments where it's like, I'll be coming up on a few months where I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. Like, I haven't really planned a tour and I don't really have a gig. And then all of a sudden this comes along, and it's like a crazy opportunity, like not just like a throwaway. It's like, because of that show, I'm now a member of Equity, and I can audition for Broadway shows in New York, like, I mean, again, that was one of those experiences that I just didn't want to end. And I had to go directly from there. I had 2 hours in New York. I had to fly. I remember I had to leave early. So I left with 1 week left in the run, and they had somebody else come in and finish out the run. And they had agreed to it, which again was another kind of weird thing. They don't normally agree to that, but they were okay with it for some reason. So it's like, I was given this incredible opportunity that now is going to lead to, if I ever actually end up on Broadway, it'll be because of this show, because now I'm in Equity, and having that theater company on my resume is a big deal because they're such a prestigious theater. And I definitely hope to go back and do another show there. So that has opened up the door to a lot of possibilities as far as that genre of the industry goes. So here's hoping.
How about television and film, movies, things of that nature? Celtic Thunder, you definitely have done television.
Right, exactly. Yes. And there's nothing I can talk about, but it has become a theoretical possibility, or at least the opportunity might be there. So we'll see. Again, I'm very lucky to have incredibly talented people in my life who are
rooting for you, supporting you,
and successful enough in their sides of the industries that they can kind of help me out, or make a phone call and say, why don't you look at this kid, or put me in something, or So.
And it's good to have that. You gotta. I'm a big believer, working in television and radio, and all myself, that if you surround yourself with not only like minds, you don't always have to have like minds. Sometimes you learn from those who aren't like-minded. But at the same time, surround yourself with positive energy, with people who really believe in what you're trying to say and trying to do. And they might not hold your hand, but they'll guide you, inspire you, mentor you. And that's something that I'm sure you've already done for others, and will probably be doing a lot more of down the line for yourself. I know I've done it in my career, inspired others who want to do the kind of work I do as well. And I'm sure you do it all the time as well too, right? It's a cool thing.
Yeah, I always try to be as open as possible. If it's like a younger singer, or somebody who's just getting into undergrad for classical voice, or somebody who's trying to break into some part of the industry that I've had even a little bit of experience with, or somebody who's trying to get an agent. I always try to offer as much help as I possibly feel like I'm qualified for. And I actually learned this from my mom, my voice teacher, Terrence. Terrence is part of the family. Like, I've known him since I was 10 years old. And he always joked that his mom acted like she knew everything. His mom knew everything. My mom knows the guy that knows everything. So it's like, she knows the guy. So, and she's always willing to, like, if you want to do something and you have a question about something, she'll be like, I have a guy, and I've always,
I need to send your mom my reel.
There you go. She's honestly, I learned how to network from this woman. Like, she's just, she's a master.
She's a big, I know you pay a lot of heed to her. She has been an extraordinary and continues to be an extraordinary influence on your life. Tell us about that relationship and how important that is, and how you're blessed to have that. I have that as well with my folks, but not everybody has that. It's quite special. She really truly believes in you, doesn't she?
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes beyond just kind of being enthusiastic or optimistic about what I want to do with my life. It's, if I say I'm thinking about doing something, even if it's not in music, if it's just some other venture, I'm like, I'm interested in this. What do you think? Not only will she offer opinion, she'll do research. She'll call me back a few days later and be like, okay, I just watched this thing on YouTube. Check it out. You got to check this out. Like, do you know about this guy? What about this guy? I think you should go do this, because it seems like if you do this, that forget just being a cheerleader. Like I think really, I learned hard work from her. She, along with her sister, came up with a lot to deal with. As far, I mean, they're from a poor town in Ireland when it was even poorer than it is now, and they were poor. Like, I mean, that was what they went through, is true poverty growing up. And I say that only
a long way to Tipperary. Exactly,
Tipperary, yeah. And I say that to just point out, like, these two women, especially at the time, I mean, they were 20, and I think I think my mom was 21, or my aunt was 21, and my mom was 24, individually, when they came to New York, had absolutely no money. Just, forget money, didn't even have a job. They just wanted to make it work.
The American dream. Yeah,
exactly. And their father, my grandfather, said to them, you leave this place. You are too smart. The two of you are too smart to just sit around and just let life pass you by. You both have passions. You're both hardworking. Leave and go, come to New York, go to America, and make something happen. And the two of them, again, they're the hardest working people I know. And I learned hard work. I learned, the grind, like hustle, from my mom. There is no off switch with her. Like, she's just constantly, thinking up new things and new avenues, and
how much of Emmett is like her with that, the energy. Yeah,
I'd say every ounce of hard work I have is from her. And I have been told by many, 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 many people in my life that I need to chill out and not constantly try and work. Are
you a perfectionist?
Yes, I definitely am. I'm somebody who often will let perfect be the enemy of good enough. And I've tried in the recent years to get better about that. Actually, you gave them a shout out before. The O'Hanlon Select is here, the Patreon members, and they like that. That's actually where I kind of get really personal with the O'Hanlon Select members, and I talk about that. We do these things that are like little topical videos about ideas or theories or whatever. And I did a video about how I feel like the idea of making something that you think is unbelievable, when, if what you think is good enough is here, really good enough is here. And you're not just hurting yourself, but you're hurting the people who like to watch your craft by being so, well, if I just did that with this and this with that. Meanwhile, it's like, it's like opera. It's like anything, like any show or musical. Not everything you see in a theater is going to be the greatest thing that's ever been put on in a theater. Sometimes it's just a good night at the theater.
And you can only edit and rewrite so much.
God, editing. Tell me about it. I could edit one video in my industry. I know. Yeah, exactly.
It can go, because we're in these industries here where where everything. I've had this conversation with a lot of people on the show lately. It seems it's amazing. We are propelled out there to project calm, and everything is easy, and everything is effortless, and everything is smooth, when behind the scenes it's usually anything but, to make it, once the TV camera goes on, or once you're on stage, or whatever it may be, then it seems and looks so perfect and so smooth and easy. But all of the craziness and the blood, sweat, and tears and years put in, and the toil and the energy and the sacrifices to make it all look so easy. And it takes a village. There's people involved and everything, supporting and working hard. It's part of the beauty of what it all is, but it's our job sort of to lighten the load for everybody else. So when they tune in, or when they watch, or when they come visit or buy a ticket, whatever they do, they don't have to think about those things in their life. We make it easy for them because they're coming for knowledge, inspiration. They're coming for entertainment, education, whatever it is. So, you know what I've learned myself, and this might be a possible tip, fellow perfectionists unite. And I have a couple of friends that say they're recovering perfectionists. I don't know if there is really such a thing. It's like either yes, you are, or you're not. What I tell them now, what I say, and even to myself to a degree, I'm not striving for perfection, because probably the only thing perfect, on the planet was a newborn baby or something. I'm not striving for perfection. I'm striving for excellence. Similar, same train track, but less burdensome.
One's achievable.
Yeah, less burdensome to always say perfect, got to be perfect. I'm going to keep redoing it. I mean, I do that sometimes. I re-edit. I always say, when I interview authors in my professional work and everything else, I'll always ask them, how did you know when to begin the book? And how did you know when to put the period on the last sentence? How did you know when? Because sometimes the starting it and knowing when to end it are the two toughest things. The middle, once you're flowing, is cool. But, the first sentence, we put so much, it's like so awe-inspiring and so important, the first few words. And then the ending has to be so crescendo. With something like that. So it's really cool to say excellence versus
excellence. I like that.
Striving for excellence, because it's achievable and people understand excellence, because sometimes perfect can be off-putting sometimes to people. You might even hear us, oh, you think you're perfect. No. I'm striving to make it correct, or to fix it, or to write it, or you almost operate with a third eye. Like sometimes you can even see and feel things that maybe people aren't seeing and feeling, because you go a little bit deeper in whatever the thing is.
Exactly.
It sounds like you operate just kindred spirits in that way.
Exactly like that. Like,
and it can be exhausting, right?
I would very quickly lose.
Yes.
I would. It's very easy for me to lose immense amounts of sleep trying to perfect something before I publish it, or trying to perfect a video or whatever, or the sound of something on the audio of a video of one part of it I mean, again, with the O'Hanlon Select, the Patreon members here, I've been lucky enough to have this group that I've been able to kind of like throw ideas at. So like they'll see the unfiltered stuff first. And I'll gauge their reaction, and often I get amazing criticism from them, where they'll say, "Well, I think maybe try this a little bit," or "I don't think you need that part."
And it's constructive. It's with love.
Because it's the most welcoming, amazing, beautiful people, a group of people I've ever, had the pleasure of, talking to. But I think. To be fair, authors have editors. So they have people who can say, stop it, it's good enough, or this is too much, this is annoying, get rid of that, which they're kind of, the O'Hanlon Select kind of are my editors, where I can send something and they'll say like, this is amazing, or this is good, but you don't need that. Like that's, or stop overthinking things, Emmett,
Right. The overthinking is what can create the insomnia or what have you. You're trying to, strive for the best, which is a great thing. I mean, it's striving to do something well or do something right, because, it is your name on it. You know what I mean? The buck stops here.
Of course. Exactly.
It's just, have you found, because I have you found that as time has gone on, and maybe you're more comfortable in your own skin, but also in your ability and your talent and your work, that you can let some of it go. You can ease up on yourself. You actually hear what people are saying. Like for me, and I've mentioned this before in the show, for the longest time, any work that I've done in television or stuff I've done on radio or stage or anything, anywhere for any venue or network, whatever it is, usually right as soon as I'm finished doing it and I see it air or I hear it play, I don't like it at all. I'm looking at it completely different than everybody else. The producers love it. The viewers love it. The audience is cheering it. The family and friends love it. Colleagues say you're going to give you an award for it, whatever. And I'm like,
I hate this.
Really? What about that? So I would, and some things, if I do stuff on television and we do it live in the studio and then it re-airs multiple times, it happens where the very first time I see it air on TV or I hear it on the radio, whatever it is, there's this shock value because I'm listening and watching intently and I'm looking at it. When you're on stage or in the studio or I'm on the TV set or, on location, radio studio, whatever it is, we're seeing it from our own view. We're looking out at everything, but now we're seeing it or hearing it back as everybody else has seen it and as they have heard it. So it's with a different eye. So I've been in the room with family and friends where something's going to pop on where I know I'm going to be on TV that night and they're going to re-air a special or some sort of a thing that I've done. And I'll say, okay, now when this thing comes on, I don't want you to watch it as if you know me personally. I don't want us to be here sitting on the couch as if you know Jim. Pretend that I'm not here. And would you be, we'll be watching it. I'll be pointing to the screen. Now, would you be convinced with what that guy just said? Are you buying into what that guy Jim is doing and saying? Tell me about it. And we'll have these conversations about, oh yeah, that was great. Spot on. Loved it and everything else. But you're really deeply analyzing it because you're seeing it from their view and you're hearing it now from their view versus looking out from your view. And it's a really cool thing when you look introspective like that. So for 1,000 years, I always never really immediately liked what everybody else liked and heard that I did. Now I could pull out material, tapes and different stuff of shows that I've hosted and different things I've done in my career. And I'll say, and maybe it's 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever it is. And I'll watch it now and I'll say, you know what, with that level of experience under those conditions, with all the chaos that was going on in the studio and everything that was happening, that was pretty damn good, actually. You know why? Because I'm now emotionally detached from it. When you're doing it, you're still coming off the self-imposed expectation that you've created. There's expectation that your employer is going to want, or your colleagues going to want, or the viewers, the audience, the listeners are going to hope for. But then there's this self-imposed added expectation that we add on ourselves, and we're hoping that it meets that. So I can look at stuff now as long as I'm emotionally detached from the self-imposed expectation of striving for the excellence, to where I actually appreciate it more and I can hear what they were saying. Wow, that was really good. You hit the mark. You were spot on. You knocked it out of the park. All those things that I'm always telling everybody else. You were great. That was amazing. I wouldn't always hear it for myself. And now I take the time to say, you know what, behind that wall, I was on set, but behind the wall, there was a fire. And I still put it all together and make it happen. That actually was freaking good. But it takes time to allow yourself to do that. And it's taken me time. And I still don't always do it. I'll be in the car reviewing and, should we have said hi to that one? What do you think? Did we spend enough time with that person? And everybody else in the car, they're like, we're leaving. We're leaving. We went to that party. We're now going home. That party is over. Like, but should we have spent more time with them?
Well, we could have then. See, I mean, a big thing for me was, I think through my experience performing with Celtic Thunder and more of my opera career kind of starting to take flight, I find that the imperfections are the part that like make it human. It makes
absolutely right.
It makes that those are the parts that people connect with the most.
They actually prefer that, right?
They do, and in the arts at least, like perfection is boring if you think about it. And it took me a while.
Have you had to learn? I was going to say you've had to.
Yeah,
learn
it took me absolutely.
I think we were trained to think that that's what you were supposed to achieve.
Exactly. Everything from like, for me, like technique of, vocal technique, audition technique, what to wear, how to act, all of it had to be, perfectly tied into a bow and ready to go. And I find that, any auditions, performances, everything, the more human it is, and the more I'm focused on conveying the emotion of whatever I'm doing, and the less I'm focused on the perfection of every single note that comes out of my mouth, people will prefer the first one, even if 85% or 90% of the notes were really great or I'm happy with, versus the other one where 110% of the notes were amazing. And it's that, I think it's that kind of energy that I've tried to adopt. So I've tried to kind of change like you said, like change the definition of what I'm shooting for as instead of perfection, some kind of something that people can connect to, something human that's polished and ready to go, but human first, as opposed to perfect first and then act like it's human. Like, I think that's kind of what's helped me. Like Spielberg does this thing when he's shooting where he does 3 takes and that's it. Right. And whatever he gets in 3 takes, he's going to use it because it is what it is. He's not going to like mush and push and whatever. You get 3 chances, and something in those 3 chances will be fine. It'll be usable. And I think that's partly why a lot of the shots you see in his movies are so raw and a human feeling, because it's not, okay, you stepped with your left foot. Could you step with your right foot? Okay. Could you take 3 steps instead of 4 steps? It's much more like, here's the objective. Here's what to do. Try it 3 times. Let's move on. So I think,
Yeah. What I like that you said too is, it's the authenticity, which is what people want, the relatability. But you can still there is this side of the fence that says all polish has to now be erased, that everything has to be reality and totally raw, period. I'm not sure I totally buy into that. I think, especially in the arts and entertainment and any of that, a little finesse, a little polish,
for sure.
I think is still a great thing. And if anything, I've actually been told that it actually stands out because so much of it has been washed away and everything is so in your face and raw that a little polish now people are craving, not over waxed where you're.
That's what I mean. Like not like a wax figure.
You're not. But just class and civility.
I think a touch of that's why, like, for me, it's like I have to check the human box first. I have to make it feel. It has to be real feeling to me, and then, like you said, then polish it up, make it a curated event or performance or whatever. But like you said, obviously, the curation, the polish is what makes it professional. It's what brings the quality, but the relatability, not sacrificing too much of that.
So you're still a work in progress, right? We all are.
Oh my God. A drastic work in progress. You could do a study on me as far as somebody, it's to the point, like I said, it's to the point where I would rather not sleep for 4 or 5 days and just keep working on something rather than just, it's fine after the first few hours, then just put it out, just put the video out put the whatever out.
Yeah. I did 2 shows today. I'm doing 2 tomorrow, 2 Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
The first meal I had was between the 4 o'clock show and this one. And I was like, because you also, in a way, you really love what you do. There is sort of this Christmas Eve, Christmas morning feeling to it. You're like, for me, and one of the reasons why I always love live, I mean, I've done a lot of scripted stuff, teleprompter stuff over the years too, but one of the reasons why I love live is because it forces me to turn on all the adrenaline and have all the cylinders firing.
Oh, for
Anything
sure.
can happen. You got to keep the train on the track. And that's very invigorating. And you got to think faster on your feet, and you're really creating on the spot. Not everything is always going to be as perfect as if it was scripted and edited and filmed and every word is perfect and all of that. I think there's sometimes even more humanity in things when they are like we're having a conversation and we're live and we're going back and forth like it's an awesome tennis match.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some of the best kind of stuff that can happen, right?
That's the most entertaining kind of content in my eyes. That's why live performances, I mean, it doesn't really matter how good a video is or how good a recording is or how good your editing is. Live will always, a good live performance will always beat a good recorded performance. I completely agree.
A lot of they're all agreeing with our wonderful, there's no copay for this therapy session, folks. Learning from Jim and Emmett. This is just our holiday gift to you.
No copay and no qualifications.
That's right.
Well, I'd say you're pretty qualified to do this, but I certainly am not.
Oh, come on. Yes, you are. You've lived, you've survived. You're a survivor. You're resilient. A couple of people actually did ask as far as what's gone on, obviously with COVID and everything, how that has impacted the opera community and things of that nature. I know a lot of people that I've had on, we had Sean Wiley on, from Under the Street Lamp, and we had Cuneo on, who was with him too. Cuneo was interesting when I had him on. I think it was in June, and he was live in his apartment in Manhattan, and things were really just sort of rolling, beginning with the COVID. And he was talking about how he was very open. He was very honest. And a lot of people, when they come on the show here, and I really appreciate that, they just feel so comfortable that they emote and we have a good conversation. But he was talking about, little anxiety, a little depression, like 2020. 2020 was all set up for him to be the year. He had all of these gigs, all of these ducks in a row, and all this work that's been done. And boom, and boom. And, not knowing when things will be able to, the switch will be turned back on, especially because he said, and a lot of folks that have been on, and, our show, we don't just have performers, we talk about everything and every kind of guest on the show from every field of life. But for the performers, a lot of them have been saying things lately like, well, in the beginning, I liked the Zoom thing. I liked doing it. I'm learning how to do it and everything, getting tech savvy. But now 8 months later, I'm like,
okay.
I need to see.
I need human interaction.
I got to hear the roar of the crowd, and I got to hear the clapping. How about for you and for the community? How are you keeping your energy, your stamina, and your positive nature up through all of this?
I mean, it's hard. I mean, I've definitely gone through waves of feeling very kind of pessimistic, and I mean, granted. As I've said before, I'm very lucky that I have a group of fans that whenever those waves hit, they're pretty good about, nipping it in the bud and making me, giving me back that kind of motivation and stuff that I might be lacking. But as far as like the opera industry is concerned, I mean, this is an atomic bomb hitting the opera industry, and more specifically the American opera industry, because whereas in Europe, the arts have an unbelievable amount of funding. Like just to put it in perspective, when coronavirus hit in March and Germany had to shut down. So this past March, when it was kind of hitting everybody, Germany basically right away passed, I think it was like an $80 billion bill that would essentially fund every ounce of the arts. So everyone in the arts in Germany still got a paycheck. No opera house in Germany had to close. No museum had to close. No, like they right away because they see the importance of a thriving arts and cultural industry, if you want to call it. But the success of the arts and culture in a country, and the success of society in general. And not to get too nerdy, but you can look through history with this, and from Shakespeare during the time of Elizabeth and Mozart and all of these highs in the arts world and these thriving cultures were kind of one in one. They're tied together. And sadly, in America, there basically there's no actual arts funding, essentially. I mean, the NEA, but that's like, a fraction of a penny out of everybody's pocket, basically. You'd have to be a forensic accountant to find the funding for the NEA in the budget, in the national budget. But so in America, it's really been rough. And I mean, you know this better than I do, because it's not just the opera industry, it's all arts. There's basically no public funding. There's no government assistance, essentially, for the arts industry. So you have all of these, not just performers who, I mean, I have friends who literally have lost over $100,000 in work just in the last just in a night, everything was canceled. They have kids and they have mortgages and and there's no furlough for us. Like, if you're a guest artist somewhere, if you lose that job, you don't get paid. There's no, we're going to pay you, but you're furloughed, and there's government this and that. You're on unemployment. That's it. There's like, whereas if
you can even get that,
depending, especially depending on the state you're in, if they haven't made it impossible for you to do that. And, and not just the performers that have had to deal with that, but the theaters that have been just annihilated.
The crews, the
backstage, the stagehands, the producers,
the vendors who sell food and drinks, and bartenders and restaurateurs that surround the theaters.
Tell me about it. I mean,
shuttered.
And this is why, and it's hard to talk about this stuff, as I'm sure without accidentally dipping your toe into the political pool. And it's not about politics. It's just about
humanity. It's about
human beings. Like, just what does everybody think's going to happen when the service industry and the arts industry are gone? I mean, all of New York is the service industry and the arts industry. Houston, a lot of essentially LA, San Francisco. There's a giant swath of that is the service industry and the arts industry. And it's not about, I want money, so give my industry money. It's just like, there has to be some recognition of how important the arts are, and not just for the economy, but like, people love, I love, there's a great meme that when this hit, it started going around, and some really big names in the arts industry were posting it, where it showed, it was two photos, and the top photo was, I think it was like the New York Philharmonic, one of the greats. And it said, if you want this, and then under it was a kids orchestra, very obviously in like an elementary school. It said, you have to fund this. And it's not about people wanting money and you giving them money. It's about identifying that it's like an equality question, because if there is no apparatus for making sure that the arts industry can survive, in general, across the board, museums, ballet, everything, school arts programs, which are just talk about a pandemic. I mean, they're just before the annihilated. We're getting annihilated. And now they're not even, it's not even a question if we should save them. People are just like, okay, that's the first to go. The arts industry saves lives. And I don't mean like just kids in low income areas that go to public school. If they have the opportunity to play an instrument, or be exposed to a musician, or be exposed to an artist and be able to express themselves. I mean, there are any number of a billion studies that show just how important it is to the development of a young person. And it's like the fact that it's not even talked about, let alone debated. There's no side, there's no lobby for this. There's no
people themselves.
Exactly. It's
consumers of it, right?
There's no funding behind this, beating down the doors of Senate offices saying, if you want our money, then do this. Because there's nothing, we don't have that. And that's why, we're kind of an afterthought. Not to get political, but it is, it is what it is.
But damn it, it ticks you off, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. Because here's the thing: if I wasn't so lucky, if I didn't have parents,
it's that Irish heat coming.
But it's because if I didn't have parents that believed in me the way they did, if I didn't have a voice teacher that believed in me the way he did, if I wasn't lucky enough to have two parents that busted their hump in order to get any type of success in this, both came from very poor families, off the boat type of deals. If I wasn't so lucky to be in that situation in a great public school on Long Island, there's no way I'd be an opera singer. There's no way I'd be a singer. So I just feel like there are giant parts of this country where kids, it's not even an option. It's not even a thought. It's just, you're not good in, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish that.
No, I was just like, I was a hard kid to teach when I was in middle school and high school. I learned quite differently. It wasn't until really college where I figured out how I learn. And the arts for me, like being in shows and being in theater class and all this kind of stuff, for me, that was what kept me sane. I mean, that's what kept me from maybe going down a different road that would have been self-destructive. So,
Well, I would imagine that you got an even deeper understanding of all of this, like the lack of funding and all of that here in the States, by leaving the States and going to Europe and going to other countries and seeing how the arts are so supported and how even the people themselves are cared for during tough times. You're not so much just out on a limb on your own. Here we are in the United States of America, and there's food lines in 2020. There's caravans of people begging for food. Where are we? Is this a third world situation?
Unheard of. On that topic, my mom told me a story about the other day. She was walking down Broadway on the west side, and this guy with a stroller was with a kid and his daughter in a stroller, who was obviously I think he told my mom she was autistic and she had a disability. He said, "Hey, do you know where what are they called for? Like if you're on a food line,
Give me like a
shelter,
like a food pantry or
food pantry. Thank you. I couldn't think of the second word. A food pantry. Do you know where the food pantry is? Because the one on 81st is closed." And my mom's first, she was like, I think there's one on 86. And he said, no, that one's closed too. I think there's one on 38th, but
sometimes they call them soup kitchens too.
Soup kitchens. There's one on 38th, but my phone is dead. Can I use your phone? Blah, blah, blah. This guy with a daughter, like he was going to walk like 80 blocks to get to somewhere just to get a little bit of food for his daughter. So my mom, luckily, was in a position where she brought him into a diner, sat him down, and like prepaid for a meal, and said, "Here's more money. There's a grocery store. Go there afterward." But that's what we're talking about. It's the richest country in the world, and it takes people being philanthropic for that to happen. Like that's unbelievable. That's what's necessary. And like it's not that's New York. That's my home city where this is happening. So it's not like, one part of the country that it's happening in, and that it's everywhere. And it's incredibly heartbreaking. I mean, it's the worst it's been in 100 years, they say. So, yeah, it's hard to get through all this stuff, but it helps when you have a group of like the people who are watching this thing.
All these levities.
My God.
Yeah. The levities. And while they're even saying, as they express themselves, which is what I love here, they're talking about how, these kinds of conversations and all are good for mental health as well. Like Denise says, arts are needed for good mental health.
Absolutely.
Bottom line, they're all talking about that. Music is a balm and a salve, and so is laughter. Arts and human morale go hand in hand throughout history. Patterns prove it time and time again. Of course, about the arts being poorly funded. Broadway opera, local theaters need more funding. I love Europe for that. Bravo, Guinness Girl. Yeah, it's something that, Everybody is keeping up with the Kardashians here. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but there's a great, like, there's, for example, again, this, it shouldn't even be necessary, but we have, there are all these little charities that have popped up, like I think it's called Artistry. I'm going to check that and maybe post about it after this. I believe it's called Artistry. And they started right when this happened. And it was any artist or anyone in the industry that has a bit of extra that they can do without, they would give some money in. And within like 2 months, they raised like $250,000. And they would give grants to people that lost a lot of work, that had families, and it was, forgivable. It wasn't a loan. It was, they would just give the money out to people who needed it. Which is amazing, because that was really, in the beginning at least, it's gotten a lot bigger now, but it was essentially the arts helping the arts. It was people who were a little bit more fortunate,
right,
being able to give a little bit of money to people who really got hit harder. I mean, like, I was unbelievably lucky that I had the gig I had in Dusseldorf, because I still had a gig. I was still, I mean, there was a hit, but I knew in a few months I'm going back.
If you were here, you probably would have had nothing.
I had friends that literally only had gigs lined up for like a year and a half at American houses, and all of it was gone overnight. So yeah, there was a loss for me. There was a big hit, but I knew, okay, X amount of months and I'm going back and I'm going to start getting paid for, this show I'm doing there. And again, with these people, these fans that are watching, I mean, the O'Hanlon Select, it's those people are so dedicated to supporting what I do and the work that I do, that they're willing to become, a higher tier of fan, like, or give a little bit of their money to show their support, and also interact with me in a different way. And like, again, I'm sure you've seen with doing this new show and the response it's gotten, that like, those are the people that keep artists going. Like, without that, it's all over. So, it can't be stressed enough how amazing these people are that are watching.
What are some other things that you like to do that, what would be something about Emmett that people don't know? Maybe it's a hobby, maybe it's some other thing that you really enjoy doing, separate from performance, separate from music.
I really, really like working with my hands. I like building things, and I like little projects like that. I've been getting more and more into that. In fact, and this, I like kind of have never talked about this. I've a little bit talked about it, but I really, really, really want to, I don't know if you know what van life is, but these people who get basically like Mercedes Sprinter vans and like deck them out and make it like livable with like a little kitchen and a bathroom. I want to
do that. I think with VW buses.
That was the OG. That is like, they're coming out with a new one.
Back.
A fully electric one. Volkswagen's coming out with a fully electric, God, what was it called? It was the Volkswagen.
It was that bus. Email about it recently. Yeah,
so cool. But yeah, that was like, that's what started it all. But now people, they take, Sprinter vans. They take there's like a Ram and a Ford too. They look like work trucks. But I want to do van. I've wanted to do van life for like 5 years, and I think now with like the time off, hopefully like in the next year, I might try and build out a proper van. People are pointing out Keith just built out a van.
He's in Portugal. Tomorrow.
He's in Portugal. Yeah.
He's going to be live with us at 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And he's going to be
in his van. I mean, he's touring Portugal in the van. Yeah. So it's similar to that. I really want to do that, because I think it'd be fun to, like, especially with the touring and stuff, once hopefully once this all clears up to a point where we can have live shows again, like intimate live shows. I'd love to use it while on tour. And it's also like, that's a passion of mine is little projects, working with my hands and stuff. And I can tackle that, essentially myself.
So do you see yourself traveling with it? I mean, would you?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Cross country sort of RV.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to. And like it's actually part of what I use the O'Hanlon Select platform for, is that like they kind of get different tastes of different videos. Like I'll put out videos, they get stuff that's not me singing at all. Like it's like a vlog. Like I had a vlog for a while, and now I kind of put stuff like that more out on that page. That's like more exclusive content. And so like it's kind of was born from that. I thought it would be like a really interesting thing for them to watch and them to see, and like my adventures and stuff. And like if I have a gig or a tour, it's perfect. I could just drive it to the show.
That's look what Guinness Girl says. She says, yes, use the van for house shows in the USA.
Exactly.
And by the way, come to Seattle.
I cannot wait to go back to Seattle.
South Africa. Right.
Yep, Pimp Me Ride. I love it. So we'll see. I mean, that's kind of like down the line. I'd say like at the earliest, probably next summer, hopefully. But we'll see. That's kind of down the line. But honestly, and like you said, like the virtual thing is getting a little old because you missed the live thing. But the virtual shows that me and I know the other guys do it too, that on stage it have been a lifeline, not only for feeling that energy of performing, but like, again, like getting actual support and being able to like put food on the table.
Well, now you have a Christmas one. We have the address there. You've got a Christmas one coming up. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this is an exclusive. This is a JMTV exclusive.
Yeah.
I haven't announced this yet, but
the world premiere on the Gym Master.
Exactly.
So we have these world premieres.
Yeah, you get the scoop, man. It's something about you. We all trust you. That's why.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but there you go. There you go. Every year I try and do a Christmas show, especially because that's kind of how the Celtic Thunder fans got to know me, is through a Christmas tour. And this year it's extra special because I'm doing it in my family house out here on the island that none of the fans have really seen, and they'll see a reappearance of a guy that they really know and love, Lachlan Glenn, who I did. Oh yeah,
how's he doing? Yeah. He's in Australia, right?
His family's in Australia. He's based in New York, but he'll actually be coming out on out the island here because I have the piano. I grew up learning how to play piano on is here, and so we'll be doing a live show here on December 20th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Actually, right after Emmett show. I called to make sure. I was like, "When is your show ending?" I didn't want to step on his toes. But yeah, it's a JM exclusive, and Lachlan will be there, and I can't wait. I mean, it's one of my favorite types of stage shows is the Christmas shows because it's always I get to reprise A Holy Night, which is like the big number that they all got to know me singing. So yeah, I'm excited.
You can see some of your stuff on YouTube as well, too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the Patreon channel, the fan club. What happens with that as well?
So, I mean, the Patreon members. So actually, so people can see it in the comment section. That's the link for the Stages show. But the O'Hanlon Select, again, it started out of a kind of a conversation I had with a few different fans a while ago, a number of years ago now, and because I had interest in doing other kind of content. Like I tried to vlog for a while and stuff like that. And this idea came about from a few fans who had said, you should look into this because Patreon was kind of relatively new or newer at the time. And
I thought about it too. Do you like it?
I like it a lot. There are some things I think can be improved at that, but what's great about Patreon is they actually do improve things continuously. And the one thing I really do like about it is the interaction with your patrons, which we call them the O'Hanlon Select.
Were you hesitant in the beginning to do it?
So I was definitely hesitant because I don't really like the idea of putting like a velvet rope in front of things.
Right.
But what they help me do is, like we were saying, like kind of curate content. And because of the O'Hanlon Select page and the O'Hanlon Select group, more content ends up coming out for the public for free because they help me and inspire me and give me ideas. And yes, there's a lot of exclusive content that they get because they're O'Hanlon Select members, but a lot of that influences new ideas and new content that comes out for the public. Like, for example, if like all the O'Hanlon, the O'Hanlon Select members get to watch my Stage It shows for free. But what they get is after the Stage It show, there's an O'Hanlon Select after party where that's when I start drinking. And that's when me and Lachlan will crack open the tequila. And it's more kind of a chat and there's some songs.
That's when you're drinking the Select.
That's when I'm drinking the Select. But like, that's one example is that the O'Hanlon Select members kind of get that side of the exclusive content as well. And like we were talking before the show, that there's a lot more personal stuff that goes on the O'Hanlon Select page where I'll just it'll be a video talking about my thoughts on something. And then they'll have this like will comment, and the comments are always this it's a rich conversation of any topic that we talk about. And I think you should do it. I think who thinks in the comment section, who thinks that we should get a JM Patreon page going? Because I think you should. I know a lot of the O'Hanlon Selects would be interested in hopping on that page. But what's great is there's a community page. And for me, I've basically given the keys to that whole page to the O'Hanlon Selects. That is a page where they get to post whatever they want. They've started a book club. They've started the Select Social, where every other Saturday they do a Zoom call where everyone chats and hangs out. That was not my idea. Like, there are the things that these guys have come up with.
You got it going already here, like they want it.
Yeah, there you go. See,
so those
are all selects.
Yeah, we have our lovities here, so it would be our lovities.
The lovities. There you go.
Wow.
Lovities. I think it's great, man. I think you definitely should. But yeah, I mean that's been, and not only has it been artistically an enriching place for me to go, but again, especially in a time where the arts are deteriorating, and there's basically no idea, really, no solid idea of, okay, this is when we can get back on stage and do live things. They are so generous as to give even a few bucks to be a part of the O'Hanlon Selects that do not only go towards like making sure I could like buy groceries, but it's a way for me to have like funding to create these new projects. Like I can't give the full exclusive, but I just was talking today, half exclusive. Again, another JMTV half exclusive. I was just talking to a venue in New York that still is rentable. That is this bricked indoor building with a piano and professional recording equipment on. And there's a project that will be coming out probably at the beginning of next month. And that's another thing that the O'Hanlon Selects get, because they're willing to give their time and their energy and a little, the money they can give, that they get kind of behind the scenes exclusive stuff, extra content that doesn't make it onto the finished edit, which for another perfectionist like you, it's a great way to kind of mitigate the editing woes. It's a great way to kind of categorize things as behind the scenes or extra content or like bonus tracks. So
you know what, speaking of all that, there's probably 7 people that have asked this question. And you've seen it, haven't you?
I don't know if I could sing a Holy Night tonight, only because I don't have any type of backing track for it. But I will definitely be singing a Holy Night on my Stage It show on the 20th. So you should definitely come. Also, you don't want to hear a Holy Night a cappella. You want to hear a Holy Night with Lachlan on piano, because that man sounds like an orchestra when he plays. But I do, and this is only because Jim said so, I do have something that I'll be able to sing if you'd like.
Oh, fantastic. And pass the word to Lachlan. Maybe we can get him on the show as a guest. And
for sure, he'd love to.
Of course, Emmett as well. A lot of people have asked about Emmett.
I know he would like to, absolutely.
Yeah. Love to get him on the show too. So
I'll be talking to him tonight. So I'll say, hey, get your butt on the.
Tell him no, it's painless. It's painless. It's fun.
Yeah, exactly. I love this, man. Honestly, this is a great show. You do a really good job. I'm happy that not only that I'm able to be on, but I'm a fan. I'm a levity for sure.
I appreciate it. And it's cool that we've known each other even prior to this. So that just makes it even more enriching,
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're going to do something special for the levity.
I guess.
Wow. This is another world exclusive.
This is not planned at all, but this is kind of a taste of some
before we do it. A lot of people, every guest we have, the audience always likes to know where they're positioned. So tell us the room that you're in and what you're surrounded by.
I'm currently in the kitchen. That is I don't know what you call it, like a cabinet, I guess, that my mom has owned for a very, very, very China cabinet that she's owned for a very, very long time. And this is the kitchen of her house. It's her house. So this is the venue. Who's doing the cooking? It depends. You know who's actually, I like to cook. I'm not great. Like I can do very basic things pretty well. My sister is an unbelievable cook and she bakes, but she bakes and she doesn't like eating pastries. So I am the taste tester.
You're the taste.
Yeah. being home has not done much for my health because when you're hanging with somebody who likes to bake but doesn't like to eat it.
My mother and sister are the same thing. Exactly. Well,
Right.
they say that you have to keep 6 feet away from each other, but you got to be 10 feet away from the refrigerator.
It's hard. I'm not successful at that. I need to check out those CDC warnings about the refrigerator. Yeah, absolutely.
So, what is this one again that you're going to share with us? This
sherry, not to mention a lot of the have already here as levities. Yeah, the Emmett Street team. A lot of them are already levities. So. Wonderful. I think we have a consensus as to whether or not the levities should become a
wonderful Patreon that has happened here. Yeah, between
I think that's the next step for the levities is some bonus content for the Patreon page.
I love it. Love it.
So this song is probably a song I'll end up doing on the 20th. Again, this is in no way planned. This is just a backing track and a speaker, and this man talked me into it, so you can all thank him.
This is a preview of something exclusive. Again.
Exactly. Yeah, look at you, man. It's like investigative journalism here.
Mm-hmm. Smooth as silk. I don't leave.
That's right. You just make it happen. So this song is one of my favorite Christmas songs. It's called Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And this will definitely be one of the ones that's on the Stage It show, along with the O'Hanlon Select After Party.
And again, this is the Stage It show info there, right?
Yep.
There.
And I believe it's in comments too. Yeah, it's on the 20th, right after Emmett Cahill's show. So you should all go see Emmett Cahill's show and then hang around to come see mine. Cool. It'll be me and Lachlan hanging out here on the piano, and then ultimately drinking tequila at the after party. So
that's the part that they want to really see,
Listen, you can, if you're not an O'Hanlon Select member, you can talk to some of the O'Hanlon Select members in comments and get the lowdown.
Once the tequila is pouring, there's no need to strive for perfection anymore.
Yeah, see, the perfectionist goes out the window at that
That's
point.
Out the window.
Whatever comes out at that point.
That's exactly. Very liberating. It's very liberating.
Exactly.
All right. So have yourself a merry little Christmas with the one and only Emmett O'Hanlon, right?
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all be together, if the fates allow. So hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all be together, if the fates allow. So hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
Bravo, bravo. Really nice.
Thanks, man.
Really nice.
Thank you.
And there's family in the house, right? They got treated to that.
No, thankfully they're not in the
There's
house.
nobody.
Right now. But essentially everyone will be here for the stage show. So don't be surprised if you hear some dogs barking or some dogs running into frame, or people cheering or laughing at me. So it'll be the full O'Hanlon experience for the stage show.
So for the holidays, everybody's staying put pretty much, not really traveling. They're staying.
Yeah. There's no real traveling, and everybody's quarantined and done the responsible thing. So
that's what you have to do. Tesla Bella watching in Florida says Lovety Hall, which is what we call it here. Actually, the viewers called it. The Lovety came because I said our show is about light, love, and levity. And one time I was on the air and I fouled up and I said, the show is about light, love, and Lovety. I said Lovety. All the viewers, they call themselves the Loveties. They call me Mr. Lovety. They call this Lovety Hall. All the guests immediately become a Lovety. They've already welcomed you as a Lovety here on the show, which is amazing.
How about this for the Patreon page? Lovety Land.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
I'm just saying, Lovety Land, man.
Land of Lovety. Yeah.
Land of Loveties.
That's right.
Just saying.
His master's voice.
There you go.
That's it. You can do a lot with the last name Masters. I know.
Yeah, it's perfect, man. I love that. Yeah.
And people think I made that name up, Jim Masters. They think
you're just like the luckiest man on earth to have such a radio name or such a performance name.
They're like,
you're a TV name. Yeah.
You're not Jim Masters. I'm like, yes, James Edward Masters. Yeah, I mean, the Masters. They go back to Yorkshire, the Masters family.
Wow.
Other side goes back to Yorkshire, England. My father's mother's side is all Ireland. My mother, England, Sweden, and France, which is kind of cool as well.
Wow. Yeah.
But Masters, very British name. But
that's like it's basically as lucky as like a weatherman being called John Rain or John Thunderstorm or something.
Right? Bob Winter.
Bob Winter. Yeah.
That's fine. That's it. I'm Bob Winter.
Right.
That's it. Pat Meehan says we need a Christmas CD, Emmett.
Yeah, I agree. That's actually we keep coming back to this. That's another thing that I've been doing with the O'Hanlon Select is on my website I've been coming out with downloadable songs just because right now it's quite hard to get in a studio and make a proper CD happen. So I've been able to just get tracks done, and I've been releasing those tracks. And actually, that's another thing that I've been doing with Untitled Select, is that they get exclusive tracks and stuff. So there's definitely going to be, or I should say, maybe Santa will bring a Christmas track that'll be downloadable.
Well, I might be able to work that out. We might be able to guarantee that Santa does that, because I played on stage in New York City. I did.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, my resume is sort of becoming
I didn't know Santa had a smartphone.
I was going to say, right?
Yeah.
He's a high-tech Santa.
He is. He's a modern guy.
That's it. It's, when you look back at all the things you've done, like you two, it's really cool, right? When you pull out the photos, I have this big broadcasting scrapbook of all the people I've met and letters I've received and places I've been and stations and shows and all these different things. Because, it's interesting, like, we're similar in the way that people know you. There's a crowd that knows you really just from Celtic Thunder. And then there's the crowd from opera, and it's like they have you in different compartments when you're all really one person and you dabble in all of it. And then it's all married together, which is beautiful. So there's people who know me maybe from public television. Some know me from the lifestyle travel show I do on CBS. Some know me from news or all the entertainment, whatever I've done. And it's fun. It's cool when you look back, because then you're kind of like, you even appreciate more what you're currently doing and how you got here, because of all the things and all of the, like we said earlier, the blood, sweat, and tears and sacrifice that it took to get you where you are. May look easy, and everybody says, "Oh, I can just flip a switch and just do that."
Yeah,
not always is easy. It takes a lot of time, and you got to really sacrifice to do all these things we do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's there's the direct correlation. How much are you willing to sacrifice? How hard are you willing to work? And what kind of success are you hoping for? So I completely agree with you. And it's great to see those people, like you're saying, those different groups of people interact with each other, which I'm sure you get to see every day, where these people who know you from this, know you from that, know you from that, then they kind of get to know each other. And then they get a kind of a more well-rounded view of who you are as a professional and a performer.
As long as they don't tell each other all your secrets.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Shh, don't tell that one.
Exactly.
Some really nice comments. Bernadette said, gorgeous, of course. Bravo for that wonderful rendition of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Marshall Lyon, of course, who again joined us in the city. Thank you, Jim and Emmett. It has been a great evening of good conversation, good music, lots of levity. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Nan says, Emmett, thank you so much for sharing some of yourself with us. Absolutely. And I love that. I love when they comment like this. Meg says, love the song and this show. Thanks, Jim and Emmett. It is our pleasure. Merlin in Canada. Thank you, Emmett. That was lovely. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Claps from Pat. Guinness World says, just perfect, which is nice. Kathleen Walker in New York City. Beautiful. Janet, giving me goosebumps as you sing. Thank you from the bottom.
Thank you.
This is really cool how some of this happens. So you have her comment, and you're a lot sort of like hanging, saying the bottom of bottom of what? So if we skip down one, you have Sharon's just beautiful. Thank you, Emmett. And we get to the rest of Janet, which says, "Of my heart."
There it is.
Of the show.
Listen, people can thank me from any bottom.
From any bottom.
Bottoms in general.
Bottoms up.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Did we toast? I don't remember, but we should do it again.
Cheers, my friend.
Lunch, right?
Lunch, yeah.
Bravo. Merry Christmas. What a wonderful voice you have. Denise, I love that. If I don't know if she pronounces it Ola, but if it is, that's great.
That's a good name.
Ola, what a great name. It has
Denise,
been
hello.
And we're so happy to have her here. Llewellyn, who's one of our regular lovedies in the Palm Springs, California area. Beautiful rendition. Emmett, thank you. Bernadette says, great night of chat and music. And I knew Bernadette would be here. She loves when we have the Irish artists.
I know Bernadette. Yeah.
when we had Phil Coulter on, and he was amazing. Have you ever met? Well, you've met Phil, right? Or probably
yes, once. Yeah, he's amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Next
he is.
Friday, we have Sir James Galway coming on. I can't wait. He's another.
Wow, that's a catch. Yeah,
it's another classic. I actually met him at Carnegie Hall.
Really?
I MC this concert. Had the honor of doing it for our dear friend Tim Janis, the composer. He's also done about 12 public television specials too. So Tim and I have always stayed together. We actually worked on a public television special that's been airing called Celtic Heart, and Mairead Nesbitt was in it. The Harp Twins, Amir McGoon, of course, the wonderful Irish flautist.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Guest on the show as well. Lynn Hillary was with us and several others. And we shot it up in Maine, and then they filmed selections in Ireland. But every year, Tim usually puts on this fantastic American Christmas Carol holiday concert at Carnegie Hall. And the funds go towards the actress Kate Winslet's Golden Hat Foundation, which is the charity for autism research.
Oh, right.
So
yeah.
Amazing people come in from Broadway and television and film, and Paul Green's been on, Mairead Nesbitt, Amir, and we just had this wonderful opportunity to meet and gather, and Sir James a couple of years ago was the timing of the concert was his birthday, which is now. His birthday's like right now. So they did a whole birthday celebration. So I was chatting with Lady Jean, his wife, another brilliant flautist, and we're friends. We became friends actually that night because I was the master of ceremonies at Carnegie Hall for it. And we stayed friends ever since. And we talked about them coming on the show, and Lady Jean said, "Oh, it would be great if they can come on around the time of his birthday." So we arranged to have it come on. We're doing a special show at a time we don't normally do it, which is 3 p.m. Eastern next Friday, the 18th of December. And we're going to be celebrating his birthday as well as Christmas, which is going to be, that's an honor. That's really,
wow, that's amazing.
Another wonderful Irish.
Well, I'll definitely be tuning in for that.
That's a really cool one. Yeah, it'll be, and it'll be 3 p.m. Eastern your time, because you're right in New York.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for singing for us, Emmett. You're wonderful. Have a merry little Christmas too. What a great night. Thank you, Jim and Emmett. You're very, very welcome, Tess. It has been an incredible evening tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to. Best of luck to you and all you do. Absolutely. We appreciate all this levity coming from the Selects and the Lovities. There's been a marriage of select Lovities.
Select Lovities. There you go.
You're hanging with the in crowd here.
That's true.
Thank you to Jim and Emmett for this fantastic show. Looking forward to Emmett Stage It. Absolutely. Nice Christmas present ahead. Shannon says Lovely Lounge can be the name of the select after parties.
There you go.
Thank you, Emmett. That was beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. Beautifully sung. Sounds like you really spoiled your selects. Absolutely. Everybody saying hello. Welcome to the land of Lovity. That's right. I think we're Lovity Hall here. We use Lovity for everything. We got to get, everybody wants Lovity mugs, t-shirts, hats, all the swag. So we've been working on that too. But you have that at your page, right? Too, for your.
I do. Yeah. Oh, I had the O'Hanlon Selects actually on my website. There's a page that's members only for the O'Hanlon Selects, and it's exclusive, not just content, but exclusive merch. They get like their own merch, and then obviously like discounts on all the other merch. But yeah, man. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah.
I should talk to you about how you set that up, because everybody's asking for that, and we've been trying to design logos for Lovity and everything. And
I can definitely help you with that. Yeah.
Perfect song selection from Christine Clifton in North Carolina. Just beautiful. This has been an incredible evening of music and conversation. Thanks, Jim and Emmett. From Christine in North Carolina, one of our real faithful Lovities. Kathleen Walker, another wonderful Lovity viewer. Thanks, Jim and Emmett. This was great. Meg, Guinness Girl, just saw who you are. Hi. It's cool how they all greet each other, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's the same. That's what I was saying. They're the same as with the Selects. They all become friends. It's like a community. It's great.
Another wonderful evening. Thanks, Jim and Emmett. Our pleasure. Mary, who's in Florida. Bunny says, thank you for a great evening. Wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Looking forward to seeing Lachlan as well.
That's
Merry
right.
Christmas, Bunny. Good to have you here on the show. Mackenzie, had fun watching tonight. Good conversation and catching up. Thank you for watching on the channel, and hope you guys will subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and check out Emmett's channel as well. All saying hi to each other. And Emmett, looking forward to catching you again soon. Juanita, who's still up late into the wee hours in South Africa. One of our faithful lovelies. Great conversation, awesome music. Thank you for your time, Emmett. Merry Christmas. Yeah. Thanks, Jim, for another amazing show. My pleasure, Juanita. Absolutely. We always aim to deliver. We don't aim for perfection. We aim for excellence.
I like that. I'm keeping that.
That's a theme.
Yeah, I'm keeping that. I'm going to say Jim Masters taught me how to not be a perfectionist. I love that.
It's darn liberating. I tell you.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, this was really incredible. Do you know that we've been chatting for 2 hours, about 2.5 hours?
Oh my God. I had no idea.
It doesn't feel, does it?
It really doesn't.
It doesn't feel at all. Everybody says that. Everybody says that. Pat,
listen, honestly, it's a shouts out to Pat. She's an OG select. But it's funny because most of the time, like I've done interviews like this before, and they can be really annoying. But honestly, after 45 minutes, my brain stops working. But I didn't see the timer. 2.5 hours. That's right. I'm a lovely man. I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome back anytime, my friend. I want you to keep us posted on everything that's going on in your world and your life. And of course, hi to your mom. Say hi to Lachlan and Emmett.
We're getting Lachlan on the show. We're getting Kyle on the show.
Oh, that'd be awesome. And hope to get to your mother's restaurant again and your brother's place too, right?
Yeah, the Daisy on the Upper East Side on 85th and 2nd, the Daisy.
That is cool. That is cool. So what does Emmett want for Christmas?
Oh. What does Emmett want for Christmas? It's going to sound like such
might not even be something tangible.
It's not something tangible, but I promise I don't mean this to sound like
what, Pollyanna?
Like a pageant answer, like world peace. Like there's something that at the beginning of all this happening, when I first got sent home in March, I was doing an Instagram live, and actually it was an Instagram live with Emmett Cahill. We were doing a little kind of chat, and he was saying, "What do I hope people will get out of this?" And it's the same thing. If you were to ask me if I could pick one thing for Christmas, people would consider. And this comes from two guys on YouTube. I mean, they're famous for other reasons, but they're the Green brothers, Hank and John Green. John Green's a writer. Hank Green is a philanthropist, genius, YouTuber. But they both talk about this concept of considering people more complexly, where meaning now the way we are structured now with our devices and social media and all this other stuff and the cultural climate of where we are, everyone gets labeled. And perhaps it's human nature. You label somebody so you can understand them in your head. You can rationalize who they are and try to get a grasp of who they are and what they mean. But if I could pick one thing, and you could take this politically, you could take this any way you want, it's across the board, is just try to consider people more complexly. Human beings are, all of us, even the most simple of us, and I don't mean that pejoratively, but we're all incredibly complex. We all have bias. We all have things we've lived through, horrible things. We all have things that have happened to us. We all have great things that have happened to us. We all have things we're proud of, things that we regret. We all have anxiety. For the holidays, probably not this holiday because of what's going on, but maybe you're going to be talking to a family member. If you're not seeing them, you're going to be talking to family members you don't talk to that often. And when somebody says or does something that you don't like, just try and think of them more complexly, as opposed to just right away saying, this is who you are. And I find that if everybody did that just a little bit more, I'm not saying you have to agree with them or even like them, but just try to consider the fact that they're a person too, and they've been through some stuff just like you have. And if there's one thing from this Christmas and hopefully this pandemic that we can all grab from this is this kind of is the great equalizer. We're all going through this pandemic.
I've said that.
It has killed people who are poor. It has killed people who are rich. It has killed people of all races, all religions.
Mm-hmm.
We're all suffering, and people process suffering differently. But if we all just try to take a beat to consider, after somebody says or does something that you don't agree with, just take a second to say, I wonder what has happened to them to make them think that way or to act that way or to say what they said. And even just that act, you can debate all you want. I love that's what makes us who we are, specifically in America. But if you just come at it from a direction of consideration as opposed to a direction of label, I think that will do a lot to move us along from the climate we're in now.
Yeah. So. Well, I've been saying often on this show that I think we were social distancing before we had to social distance because, and our lovely viewers have probably heard me say this multiple times, we were already having our heads stuck in our cell phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'd be out to dinner. Everybody's on cell phones. Nobody's listening. Nobody's paying attention.
I've never thought of it that way, the social distancing that way. Yeah.
We were already social distancing before we had to for the good of our own health.
Sure.
And also everybody's stuck on social media, just worrying about what everybody else is doing, what they're wearing, who they are, what their life is about, as opposed to tending to their own. Now we are thrust into a situation where we've had to social distance, where we have to look inward, where we have to relate to our family and people we care about and tend to some of these other things that maybe have been there that we've maybe perhaps have not been tending to as deeply because we're always chasing that brass ring and these other things, or maybe things that everybody else has.
Absolutely.
Part of the societal, way that things are developed. And now that we have had to social distance, nobody likes it. Nobody wants to do it. Everybody is like worn out with it because you're not having the touch and the hug, and you can't be near people physically and all of this. Yeah. So we've got a little bit of a pause, a reset, a reboot. We have a horrific thing that has happened. I mean, it's like I've said, the Great Equalizer. The other one before that would be the Great Depression. And this
really
is
this
is exceeding that in so many different ways. So much that's gone on in a short window of boom, civil unrest, economic collapse, pandemics, all of this happening, elections, and all these things. Any one of those are big enough for a society to be. And this is global. This is a global thing. So I've said that I hope that we sort of we take this time to pause, to reboot, refresh, do the things you've always wanted to do.
Absolutely.
Things in your life that you put aside. Maybe you were serving the needs and dreams of someone and something else, and maybe even making them rich while you serve them. Maybe you haven't been serving yourself and those closest to you. So go out and write that book, do that thing you wanted to do. Gardening was a big thing this summer. That was one of the biggest hobbies through all of this. People were out in nature. For me, going to the ocean and getting in contact with the ocean. We grew up, Long Island. Of
course,
Water, the ocean is a huge thing. And it's sort of reboot, refresh. And I hope we come out of this, Emmett, more empathetic, more understanding, less divisive, more collaborative, and we take the time to listen not only to what reinforces what we want to hear, because there's a lot of that out there. You can easily you can live in your bubble where everybody says what you're saying. That's kind of boring. You're not going to. It doesn't enrich your life. Come to the table and everybody has something to give. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has something to offer. And we have, through all of this horrific situation, a wonderful opportunity to do that. And I have said that I think three things came together back in January, February, March. I think perhaps, and again, you're talking about maybe Pollyanna and everything, it was a combination of the earth, Mother Nature, and the divine coming together and saying, stop, enough.
Slow down.
You humans are, you're destroying things. You're killing one another. You're fighting. Things are getting worse. This is not why we gave you the earth, why we gave you nature, why we gave you life. Pause. And it's going to be a global pause. Now we're going to give you an opportunity here. You better think about how you're going to come out of this, and you're going to be the ones that are going to have to come out of it. And we've been given this phenomenal opportunity to work through this together. We've seen the worst of people and we've seen the best of people. I'm thinking that out of all of this, the best is what's going to rise to the surface. People really saying that they want to be together and they want to create and they want to live a life where, sure, you can have all the buzz and the bling and all that cool stuff, but that's not what it's all about. It's those simple moments. It's having a cup of coffee on a Sunday morning with your mother right across from the table. You know what I mean? And chatting with her while she's here on the earth and you're here on the earth. These are things that we take for granted. I think that we've got this glorious opportunity to really.
I could not agree more. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it can be. And that's, I think, like you said, it's the best way through the storm is to consider this an opportunity you'll never get again, to do some inward.
In our lifetime, probably we won't, right?
No, never again. Not like this. You'll never get this chance to be forced to sit and reflect inward and think about who you are and the reality of life. And like you said, I love the way you stress empathy and valuing. Yes, obviously people want success, but valuing the things that at the end you think about, the things that at the end you'll be thinking that day I had with mom. So I completely agree with you, man. This has been like a therapy session for me. This is great. This saved me a lot of money with therapists.
Hello from Mom Susan.
Hey, Mom! Everyone, that's my mom. So great to see you two together. Mom, we spent like most of this talking about you.
Yeah, she's and my mom's watching in Florida too. Helen, she's enjoying it too. And Jim, that is so beautiful. God hear you, please. That's my prayer too. Your heart is so beautiful and pure. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And yes, I've met your mom. Your mom is absolutely wonderful, and she really knows how to treat people. Marcia is. We need more kindness. I agree 100%. Merlin says virtual hugs to you both. Thank you very much. We send it right back. Shannon says, for the first time in history, we're all being asked to look at ourselves and others as who we are and not what we can do. Who we are. I agree. Yeah, I agree. That's what it is. This is really an incredible time. Inclusivity and levity over exclusivity. Space for grace. I love that. Space for grace.
That's good. Yeah.
Because people were saying, where are all the kind people? Where are all the friendly people? Where's all the respect? Where's all the civility? Everybody's like yelling and screaming, and and now look what happened. We have to, Merry Christmas to you both. Please stay safe and healthy. Sharon, Jim, you and Emmett are chatting like your best friends, and I'm really enjoying the show. When we first met, Sharon, we hit it off right away.
Yeah, I think it's Irish thing, the Long Island thing. It's
that whole way of thinking about life, and I think
for sure.
Probably if we do DNA, we're probably cousins.
Listen,
I would not doubt it. If you tell me you love potatoes, then we are cousins.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got to have a good potato. What an amazing night spent with both of you, Emmett and Jim. Thank you. Take care and be safe. Merry Christmas, Jim and Emmett. Absolutely, absolutely. You guys watching are the absolute best, and we really appreciate it.
The reason we get to do this kind of stuff is because the people who are watching.
And you have a wonderful son, which is wonderful.
There you go, Mom.
Yeah, she's watching. She's loving it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Janet, you hit the nail on the head, Jim, I hope, and pray for the exact thing. What's cool about these shows, my friend, is they go, because they're ad lib and conversational. I don't script anything. I don't do questions and any of that in advance. We just have a good conversation. They go in so many different directions. I mean, we had entertainment, we had humor, you sang, we had the fantastic video at the opera, we've lovely conversation, and these conversations and these episodes of the Jim Master Show Live, they go wherever we want them to go. And I think that's the cool thing about all this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you were great. When I asked you, you were still in Germany, I think, when I asked, hey, we want to pop on.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, I'm in Germany.
I don't know if I will still be in Germany.
I might still be here. And if so, we can do it live from Germany.
Yeah.
And we'll have some Wiener Schnitzel and the whole bit.
Yeah.
Not worst.
Yeah, right.
Or I might be quickly coming back to New York. And if so, we'll connect and do it when I'm back home. And so there you are in your old homestead, safe and sound, which is fantastic. And look at everybody saying, like you said, a good therapy session. So tonight, good therapy session for all of us. Absolutely. No copay, folks. No copay.
except no copay, except when Lovedyland or Jim Masters, whatever he names it, when that's launched, go and become whatever it's called, a Lovedy or a
Patreon.
That's the way to support. That's the way to support artists, especially during this time. And I could tell you firsthand, the O'Hanlon Selects are literally family to me. So that's the way it happens. This is one of the few shows of this quality that doesn't do commercials. So it's really nice. It's like it's an uninterrupted, pure conversation. It's real, and it's well, there's this spot for this thing commercial. I have to do that here, or this contributor has. This is pure Jim right here. So that's the way to thank Jim when that's launched, and the merch, which I better get like a hat or something. I want that.
Absolutely. Well, you know who would love that too is George Burns.
That's right. Exactly. He needs a hat, man. Little top hat. Jim.
Or we'll have Genie pop out of the Genie bottle.
There we go. There we go.
Or we can send them on an island with Gilligan.
Oh, I love it.
The other one we had on, Bob Denver played Gilligan on Gilligan's Island, and his wife, Dreama Denver, was a guest on the show. And we did the same thing, like a 2-hour conversation. She was sprawled out in front of her living room couch by the coffee table, all snug with a cup of coffee. It was like a Saturday night, and she had just written a children's book, and her name is Dreama Denver. What a great name, Dreama Denver. Actress, but also she lives high on top of a mountain in West Virginia. She left that whole Hollywood life, went back home. So she came on and she looked at now at that time, I think it was August when she was on, and the set wasn't, all holiday themed like it is now. I mean, I used my TV noggin and we turned it into like a TV studio. Yeah. But she looked around and she says, "You're missing something." And I'm like, what could we, because usually where that Christmas tree is, we usually have the guitar there. And she goes, "You're missing something." I said, "Well, we've got Silver, who I got when I was on a TV shoot in Switzerland. We've got George, we've got Jeannie, we've got this huge panda over there. We got Lin the panda. What are we missing?" She says, "You're missing a Gilligan." So Bob Denver's wife, Dreama, sent the Gilligan. And then she goes, "Aloha, Jim, Dreama Denver." So he's part of the Lovety cast as well.
That's amazing.
So you got to have fun, right? You live only once.
Of course.
You got to have fun. So that's what we're doing here. And you're right. With this show, even separate from what I do professionally, I just turn on the camera, turn the studio lights on, and we roll with it. Yeah. And I can determine, what's going to happen. And it's a cool thing to that, right? Okay, who's on? When are they on? What are we going to do? And I mean, believe me, with this crowd, we talk about food. I was going to do a whole, just so you know, these shows, when I designed these, were only supposed to be an hour. That blew, by night 2, that was out the window.
2 hours and 40 minutes.
That was out the window. And then I've done pop-up shows where I've done what was supposed to be like 30-minute conversation about food with the Loveties, because they love food. And they sent in all these recipes, and I prepared a whole meal, and I was dining with them, and it was really, really cool. We ended up doing a 3-hour show live. And that's without a guest. It was just me and the viewers. It was like, but then again, what New Yorker can't talk?
I was going to say, not only are we New Yorkers, we're Irish, and we're from Long Island. So we can do it well.
We can converse. We've got the humor. We've got the, charismatic way of welcoming people into the fold, enjoying the conversation. Merry Christmas to you both from Elizabeth. Mask up. I love it. She's got the mask on. Christine says this pause is a time for reflection. I also hope and pray for the exact thing of what Jim and Emmett said. This has truly been a fantastic conversation with a bit of everything. Levity to all. And Sherry says, thank you, Christine. We also have a very hard time saying goodbye. The Irish goodbyes, they do last.
Bye.
Well, I mean, this night at your mother's restaurant, this was like the place was closed. We reopened it.
Honestly, I mean,
the chef was going home.
Yeah, I think we kept it open for the 6 hours or something.
That's it. We did have to do the dishes and wax the floors, but aside from that, it was worth it. Juanita says, Emmett, you have to pay Jim in cookies. Oh, that's for the therapy session. Yeah, cookies are good.
I'll Uber Eats you some cookies.
Yes. I like this. Nola says, this is real because you are both real. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's organic. Merry Christmas. It's the best way to be, folks. It's the best way to be. And good therapy for everybody.
I completely agree.
Well, I tell you, good stuff. This was really an epic conversation, just about 3 hours, and it doesn't feel that way at all.
It really doesn't. I'm very surprised.
Now, I always tell all the guests, when you come back, and you're welcome to come back, we don't have to do a full 3 hours. No, that's not required. You can come on for as long as you want, but you're definitely, my friend, welcome back anytime. And I once again cheer you and your family. Best of the holidays.
Cheers. Yeah, absolutely.
Sláinte. And you're gonna have a snack after this? People like to know what people eat.
I definitely am. I don't know. My mature brain tells me eat something healthy, but my other whole self, looking at the kitchen that currently has donuts and muffins and candy, I don't know if the healthy is going to happen. We'll see, though.
Well, they say that everybody's been through all of this. Everybody's been craving comfort food, childhood foods, the things you had when you were a kid. Sure. Pop-Tarts and Captain Crunch or whatever. They're craving all the stuff that people had as a kid. Yeah. The comfort stuff. So hey, you live once, right? You live once.
Agreed.
A couple more. But you two will do 3 hours again next time, more than likely. But we will have drinks served.
Exactly.
My friend, I wish you the best. This was really awesome having you here, and really, really appreciate all the time and all the levity and the levity and the great inspiring conversation. And
my mom says that she won't make us do dishes if we go drink at the Daisy instead. So there you go. The Daisy's the next spot.
I would never make you do the dishes. Come to the Daisy for the Daisy's specialty cocktail. What is it? Do you know what that is? Have you had it?
I have had it. You're not allowed to know what it is. I don't know what it is, but that's because it's a secret drink. They have like mixologists and everything that works there. This is a proper gastropub. It's just a tequila gastropub, which means it's like heaven for me. I think there's 300 something tequilas behind the bar, so it's a good time.
A good time had by all.
Educational time. But
absolutely. Well, best, Susan, it's good to see you as well. Emmett, you and the family, from me and mine and all the loveties here. Hello to all the selects. We welcome you to the Master Show Live. We are here 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific every day. Tomorrow, another buddy of yours, Keith Harkins, with us at 3 p.m. here on YouTube. And this was really a blast. Thanks for everything. Thanks for sharing so much of your life with us on the show, my friend. And I'm glad that we've stayed connected through what was initially a professional connection to you with Celtic Thunder, me as the TV host on public television. And then we just, and that's the best when that happens, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely be back. And I expect to see that Levity swag and a Levity Patreon page popping up. You can talk to the selects if you want some help with it.
They'll be like, okay, and street teams and everything else. I know they're talking amongst themselves already.
That's right. Yeah, don't test these people. They'll do it better than you think they will.
Absolutely. Kathleen Walker in New York says, stay safe, Emmett. I agree to that. Thank you, gentlemen. Great night. Slancha, extraordinary evening. God bless you both. Good night. Your mom says, God bless in 2021. I agree. Happy holidays from Nan. Good stuff. All right. And Bernadette says, come on, Jim, let's do it for everything you're suggesting.
That's a select. That's straight from a select.
A premium select, right?
Hey, that's proper select right there.
My friend, you take care.
You too, man.
It's this was really, really cool. Now go stretch those legs.
That's great. What are you supposed to eat after therapy? You know?
I was going to say, right? Something, I guess comfort food, right? Go make a grilled cheese sandwich or something, right? A tuna melt.
Exactly.
All right, my friend.
Thanks very much.
Good night. I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, and that you enjoyed the time with me as I have with you.
Yeah, and thanks for letting me chat up the Stage It show and the O'Hanlon Selects and all that. Yeah,
absolutely. We will see you again, my friend, and thanks for again joining us on the show.
Thank you.
You're the best.
You are, man. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye. Amazing, huh? Did you enjoy that? Of course you enjoyed that, everybody. Emmett, Merry Christmas. This is such a treat. Thanks for coming. And what a trooper too, right? Now he can stretch his legs. He can stretch his arms. Jim, can you have the two Emmets on together? Well, Emmett is going to talk to Emmett, because I know you've all asked about Emmett Cahill, and he's been very busy, but I'm sure he'll come on. I know you've loved, if you've missed some of the other lads that I know you like, Ryan Kelly, Neil Byrne, they've all been on. Damien McGinty's been on. Paul Byram's been on. Of course, Phil Coulter was on. That was brilliant. Roy Buckley, Corner Boy was on. Chloe Agnew, Mairead Nesbitt, Muir McGoon, and many others. They're all archived on our YouTube channel. At Jim Masters TV, the channel you're on right now. So you can see all of those, plus many, many. We had music legend Melissa Manchester on just a couple of weeks ago. We had Alison Arngrim on. She played Nellie Olson in the TV series Little House on the Prairie. Coming up in January, Nathan Carter, the English country star, who I also interviewed on public television. He's coming in January, which is really, really cool. I believe Orla Fallon is going to be joining us too, in maybe about a week. She's amazing too. And she, of course, was with Celtic Woman. But this show is everything. We do music, we do entertainment, we do health, wellness, science, food, comedy. This is a traditional entertainment lifestyle talk show series where we talk about just about everything, and we have a good time doing it. We're generally here 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific every single day, every day. This weekend, we're doing 2 shows a day. We had an earlier show with R&B sensation Lady Bain at 4 o'clock. You can see that on our YouTube channel. We had the brilliant Emmett, my good friend, on tonight. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, we have Keith Harkin. He's going to be with us live from Portugal, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 p.m. GMT. That's going to be cool. Matter of fact, let me show you. Thank you very much, Jim. It has been an absolutely delightful evening. Denise, I'm glad you enjoyed that. Just want to show you some of the, and again, all the fun that we've had over the years too. Lots of Irish crack, as we say. And you know, when you say Irish crack in the United States or in Canada, you have to explain when you say that you had crack, because not everybody here gets. There's the whole Celtic Thunder crew, of course, originally when we were co-hosting National PBS Special. You have to make sure you say it, because if you say Emmett and I did crack on the Jim Masters show last night, we'd be in the papers tomorrow. CRAIC, jolly good time, levity, fun. That's what Irish crack is. Different spelling, different meaning. And we make sure we always say that. So we thank, again, Emmett for being with us and all of his incredible time. Don't forget, again, to check him out in those various locations as well. We appreciate his time and talent and sharing it all with us tonight. Just want to show you a couple of things. Now, if you watch this episode, obviously 6 months from now, because it's archived on YouTube, the staged show, of course, wouldn't be relevant for Christmas, but there'll be others, I'm sure. So you can always check that out and his website. But there is the Christmas show that's coming up, and his YouTube channel, and the Patreon as well. So check him out and all the cool things that he's up to. We thank him very much for sharing this holiday episode with us here and with all of you on the Jim Masters Show Live. And let me show you some of the cool people that are coming up. Tomorrow, again, another incredible day. Keith Harkin, live from Portugal. He's also going to perform live. He's got his guitar ready. He's ready to go tomorrow night. Jazz vocalist Tammy McCann is going to be with us. She's another dear friend. The last time we were together was at Jazz at Lincoln Center, and she was performing, and she's from Chicago. She's going to be performing tomorrow as well. And then on Sunday, Connor McGinty is going to be with us as well. Singer, songwriter, musician. He's all excited. He's going to be live from Ireland. Good friend Darren Holden, who you know from Riverdance. I've known him for years. The High Kings. He's been interviewed on public television in our studios many times. He's all excited. He's going to be here next Sunday, a week from tomorrow. And then we have on the 18th, Friday, the 18th of December, a really special show. Sir James Galway, brilliant Irish flautist, 30 million albums sold. His lovely wife, another dear friend, Lady Jean Galway, are going to be here live Friday the 18th, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, on our YouTube channel exclusively, Jim Masters TV. It'll be 8 p.m. at that time. They live in Switzerland. That's where they are. She's from New York, from Long Island, actually, as well. He, of course, from Ireland. They live in Switzerland. They make their home in Switzerland. So they're going to be live from Switzerland. It's going to be James's birthday celebration and holiday celebration, the 18th of December. And that's going to be really, really cool. So many incredible guests that are coming up. You can go to our Facebook page, Jim Masters TV. We hope you like the page. And there's a whole list of some of the upcoming guests. Also, our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. We'd love it if you subscribe. And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, Itch, Witch. I mean, wherever it is, we're there. You got to be. You just have to be, right? And of course, on this show, there's a couple of things we do. Routine. Here's what we always say at the end of the show. We say, don't forget to relax. Don't forget to love one another. Don't forget to breathe, take care of one another, and love yourself. You know, if you're a caretaker type and always loving everybody else and making sure they have all their needs, and I know what that's about, don't forget to relax, breathe from the diaphragm, and love yourself as much as you love everything and everyone else. And also, don't forget to smile and share the smile. It is contagious. Don't forget the lovity. Yes, that is Jim by the ocean with the shorter hair. My hair has not been cut since March, and it's kind of cool, actually. The salon actually called, and they said, Jim, do you still love us? I said, no, we're letting it grow, you know, working out of the home studio. It's kind of cool. So loving it. And some of you have said you like it longer, actually. But don't forget to share the lovity. And as we say, find your Zen place. Mine, of course, is with loving family and friends. Of course, the ocean. Growing up, you know, here on the East Coast of the United States, the ocean is a call-to place for me and a Zen place. So I'm swimming it, surfing it, boogie boarding it, kiteboarding it, walking it, sailing it, whatever it takes. I have great respect and mutual admiration for the ocean and love the ocean. So that's a Zen place for me. Also tennis, cycling, music, my work and my career, you know, working in television and radio, all these different stations and networks and outlets and on location here, there, everywhere over the years, loving it all and working with so many fantastic people over all these years. It's just really, really cool. And another Zen place is with all of you here on the Jim Masters Show Live. So we say thank you. We say good night to everybody. We'll be back 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to get a snack too. I know my buddy Emmett's going to be grabbing a snack. I'm going to grab a snack too. I think I've earned it. We've been talking since 4 o'clock today with these shows. And then I was on the air on the radio earlier today. Fabulous show tonight, Jim. Thanks for a great show. You're welcome, Janet. Guinness Girl says, Jim, please have Keith's sister Rebecca on. We're actually chatting back and forth. You're talking about Rebecca Harkin. She's amazing. She and I are chatting. We're trying to pick a date. She is in Australia, right? And she's got a big concert coming up too, I believe. So yeah, it was actually one of our lovely viewers that recommended Rebecca and checked out her work, and she's really cool. And fabulous show tonight. Thank you very much. Juanita, still with us. She's a trooper. It's like, what is it, 4 a.m., I think, where you are in South Africa, my friend? Thank you, Jim, for another great show. Good night, everyone. Be good all. We'll see you tomorrow. Marcia, I know you really enjoyed this show because you were with me. I treated you as a good friend to come to the city with me to see both Emmets on stage. And we had a great night with the guys, and then we went to his mom's restaurant after. Hope you're doing well. Congratulations on your upcoming retirement, and I hope you're loving life in the Bay State in Massachusetts. Best to you, and happy holidays, my friend Marcia. Good night, Jim, and everyone. Stay safe and stay well, Bernadette. And yes, you love Rebecca as well, so we're working on her, and I know you want Emmett on as well, so all of that. And Emmett's working on that. You know, the two Emmets, they talk to each other. They're good friends. Keith Harkin is going to be tomorrow. Yep, he'll be here. And haven't missed any of the lads when they were originally on, but I've gone back and rewatched them. And I've rewatched Phil Coulter at least 3 times. That's fantastic. You know, it's really amazing. Like I said, it takes me a while to like what I do still, and I'm getting better at that. So even when I did the Phil Coulter show, you know, I enjoyed it. I was like, oh, it's good. It was good. Okay, it was good. I had to watch it like 2 or 3 times and separate it from myself. Like, that isn't me doing it, to really appreciate it. And now I say it was pretty darn good. Thank you, Jim. Have a great night. You too, Kathleen. And love Orla. She's a Fallon. Yeah, we're in talks right now. She might be coming on soon. Thank you very much. A delightful evening. We appreciate it. You guys are terrific. It's nice to meet the Selects and the Lovities conversing here. Good night, Jim. Amazing show. See you tomorrow with Keith. Guinness Girl, thank you very much. Wait a minute. It's 5 a.m. where you are. Almost time for breakfast. Juanita, you're amazing. Are you sure you're not Irish? I can't believe you're still up at 5 a.m. Wow. Well, thanks for that lovely loyalty. Great day of shows. Yeah, 2 shows today, 2 tomorrow, 2 Sunday. Whew, did I really sign up for this? Good night, Jim, and lovely friends. See you all tomorrow. You guys are the best. This, of course, is your host, loving this. Thanks for tagging and sharing and all the wonderful things you do. And we are working on the swag and all those cool things that you guys want. So stay tuned for all of that. Again, we thank Emmett for joining us and giving us all this time. And we thank all of you. If this is the first time you've joined us here on the Jim Masters Show live, well, we welcome you, and we hope to see you again soon. And we know you can't watch every show live, so all of them are on the YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV, and we invite you to check them out. For all of us, thanking you for your time this time. Till next time, we'll be here tomorrow. Special episode, 3 p.m. Eastern. Keith Harkin, 7 p.m. Jazz vocalist Tammy McCann. So that's 2 shows tomorrow. YouTube, Jim Masters TV. You can also see me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well. You take care. Love you guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.